All right. What is going on, YouTube? What is going on, fellow fantasy people? And of course, what is up, the catch fam? You guys already know what time it is, man. Time to jump into a little bit of Week 8 live fantasy Q&A. And man, we're just going to cool it tonight, okay? End of the week. Halloween weekend, man. I'm super stoked, man. Hit that like button on your way in if you're near here. Hit that sub button down below. Become part of the Catch family. Let's get right into it, man. I'm going to play some Madden tonight, okay? Okay, I'm really going to play some Madden tonight. And no, Steven's not here. I can't beat Steven in Madden tonight, but John, go ahead and play some Madden. So, other than that, man, we're going to hang out. We're going to do some fantasy Q&A like we usually do, guys. You guys know what time it is, man. And, yeah, hope everyone's doing great. Thanks for coming out tonight, everyone, man. And let's have a great stream. Man, what a football game last night. I need to take that off the ticker. That's at the top of the ticker there. Packers and Cardinals hangout. That already happened. That was a great hangout last night's stream was fire, guys. You guys killed it last night. Hope everyone's doing great. Hope everyone is ready for the holiday, man. Hope everyone's ready for the weekend. Let me know what's going on with you guys. Let me know what you guys are doing for the weekend, man. Let me know what fantasy questions you guys got. Let's get this Madden going. Might make it a little spicy with the Madden play tonight. Maybe switch it up. But yeah, NFL debate. Get a little off topic tonight. Let's hang out, man. Let's hang out here at the Catch fam. I'm stoked, man. Just happy to be here with you guys. You know, doesn't get better than this, guys. Catch fam community is incredible. All right. Roll call time. Richard Glass. What's up, Richard? What are you up to, man? What are you doing tonight? What game are you playing? Let me know, man. Let me know how your week went. Good to see you as always, my guy. Just left a terrible NFL Origins box break. Drew two horrible teams for rookies, Chargers, and Vikings. Okay. Richard, do you play Madden at all? Let me know. Mark. What's up, Mark? That's my dude. Good to see you, bro. Always appreciate you coming up. Scream face. I like it. I'm going to be honest. I'm probably just wearing this jersey for Halloween. I am Peyton Manning. But I like it, Mark. I like it. Jerry. What's up, Jerry? Always good to see you. Lude Triple T. What's going on? See Crip. Hey, Catch. What's up? I was wondering if I should play Pittman or Keenan Allen, wide receiver 2. I have Cordell Patterson and D. Harris Lutton as well. Should I leave them in or substitute one of them? Thanks a lot. Man, absolutely, man. For me, it's Pittman. It's a far better matchup than Allen's matchup against the Patriots, believe it or not. Now, listen. Belichick's going to take away that X factor. Who's the X factor on this Chargers team? Is it Allen? Or is it Williams? One of these running backs? Is it Eckler? Does Eckler play? I like both Allen and Pittman this week, man. I think they're both going to have good stat lines, but I see a little bit of a higher upside with Pittman, believe it or not. But aside from that, C-Crip, I would definitely leave in. I mean, I like Harris and I like Cordell Patterson and Cheese this week, so I would hang with both of those guys, man. MPX 1606, what's going on, man? What you think of this team rest of the season? Kyler, Chubb, Patterson, Cup, AJ Brown, Mike Williams, and Gronk. I think that is an excellent team. I mean, obviously, maybe a little bit of concern with Kyler last night, but man, yeah, even your top 5 quarterbacks got to have a bad game throughout the season, right? I mean, bigger concern is for me is due to the injury, right? Or potential injury, right? Because we don't know for sure if that was an injury. But nonetheless, man, I love that team, MP. Absolutely love it, man. Diamond Gamer, what's going on, man? Who wins this trade? Chris Godwin, Damon Harris, and Jalen Waddle for Deontay Johnson and Darrell Henderson. I mean, looking at consistency alone, I like Johnson and Henderson. But looking at depth, man, I mean, Jalen Waddle has not been consistent on the season, and Chris Godwin as well has not been entirely consistent, right? They've still been very good. And Damian Harris, he's got it like one of these, right? So I think Deontay Johnson, Darrell Henderson's the winning side of things in terms of being able to be confident within your lineup on a weekly basis, right? All right. Great questions tonight, guys. Keep it rolling. Tasha Carp, what's going on, man? Trading Sanders and Damian Harris for Keenan Allen. I'm trying 2-for-1 to upgrade and match the other person's needs. Besides that, I can try Manuel Sanders plus Damian Harris for Brandon Cooks or for Godwin. To be quite honest, man, I think I'd rather have Sanders and Harris than Allen. If you're going to trade both of those players, the way they're performing in fantasy right now, and quite honestly, the way that they perform on the season, I think you need to get 2 players out of that. I don't think that Allen, Godwin, or Cooks is enough. I mean, I'd rather have Emmanuel Sanders than Brandon Cooks, to be quite frank. And quite frank, is that a term? To be quite honest, sorry. And looking at consistency, man, Godwin and Sanders aren't far off, but Sanders' ceilings have been so much higher. So for me, I'd rather have Damian Harris and Emmanuel Sanders, just my humble opinion. Aaron Reborn, what is up? Aaron Reborn. Lou Triple D just traded Jefferson and Moss for Patterson and Diggs. I like that. I mean, I love JJ, right? Love Justin Jefferson. But I love, wow. I love Stephon Diggs, too. So, and I think Patterson's an upgrade over Moss. I like that trade quite a bit. Richard Glass, no, I haven't played a console football game since NCAA. Okay, fair enough, Richard Glass. Playing Back for Blood tonight. All right. Jerry says, interesting trade at Lou. Richard, if you ever want to play Madden, man, you're my pick. I want to take you on. But I'll give you time to prepare, right? Jerry, I had an exam today and scored 90 on the first part. I'm waiting for my professor to score the second part. Everyone, let's mentally tell Jerry's professor to hurry up and get that fantastic grade back to Jerry. Shout out to you, though, Jerry. Keep up the hustle, man. Keep up the hard work, my guy. Emily, Gainwell or Booker and PPR? For me, it's going to be Gainwell and all week long between these 2 guys. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But I like Booker this week. He's been a fine fill-in for Saquon Barkley, right? But looking between the 2, especially in the PPR terms, right, I think Gainwell is going to have a better day. I think Boston Scott's going to get mixed in there, right? You guys have heard me say that a lot. But nonetheless, I lean Gainwell. Yeah. I don't mind Booker, though. But if I had to pick one on the week, I'm leaning Gainwell. Richard Glass at Jerry. Great job. Yeah, absolutely. Great job, Jerry. MP, I'm trying to trade Gaskin and Hollywood for Waller. The other guy said he might do it. Are you hurting that bad at tight end? I don't mind it regardless, but as long as it's not hurting your receiver depth, because Hollywood's still been fantastic on the season. Gaskin, I don't really care about, right? But I hate to see you lose Hollywood if you're not confident in receivers. If you're confident in the rest of your receivers, right? You got depth. I say go for it. Yeah. Marky Mark, Mo, Ali, Cox are RSJ. All right. Ali Cox has a better chance of scoring. RSJ is going to get more receptions. That's the way I look at that, right? So realistically, assuming that you're in PPR, Mark, I'm leaning RSJ. Even though I had Mo Ali Cox on the must-start segment, right? I like Mo Ali Cox, man. I do. But he is touchdown dependent. Like, we have to admit it, right? As long as you have the conviction that he can score a touchdown against this awful Tennessee Titans secondary, I don't think you need to worry about starting him. But if he doesn't get in the end zone, that's going to be a bad stat line. At least RSJ is going to be a guarantee lock for, 6 to 8 targets, right? He just hasn't found the end zone himself. But I could go back and forth on that one, Mark. It's very difficult. I know we've talked about this a little bit throughout the week. It's very difficult. Marley Cox, we got to hope he gets in the end zone. RSJ, we got to hope that he makes the most out of those 6 to 8 targets, right? Tasha Cart, trading Damian Harris for Devonte Williams. I don't mind that. I'm not going to talk anyone out of going out and getting Devonte Williams, man. I still think his stock is trending up, right? Marky Mark, you got it, Jerry. Yeah, let's go, Jerry. Richard Glass on Xbox. Yeah. You know what it is, man. Jerry says thank you to Richard and Mark. Look at that. Catch fam. Supporting one another. Love it. MP, I got Gronk. What do you think about Gronk? If Gronk can play like week 1 and I get 2 and the tight end 1, I don't mind it then. I don't. I mean, the way you got to look at that, right? Even if you lose Hollywood Brown, right? Having Waller and Gronk, you can play both those guys on a week-to-week basis. Waller's been extremely disappointing on the season, but nonetheless, you can roll with him. And I do think that he has to get back to a fraction of what we saw him do in week one, being Waller, or in regards to Darren Waller, right? In regards to Gronk, um, he's got to get back as well, right? I don't think it's this week, right? I think he kind of eases back in this week. He could find the end zone in the eased in game, though. Don't get me wrong; he's used to coming back from injuries, right? But outside of that, he gets a bye week next week, right? Antonio Brown gets a bye week. On another note, God bless Antonio Brown. Please get him back in my lineup. But yeah, I do think that's fine. Then I just really hope that Waller can get back into gear, right? All right, let's see here. Touch Carp. How about Beasley and Damon Harris for T. Higgins? I can try Beasley and Gaskin too, which I will take for sure. Yeah, try that first. Start low and build up, man. I would hold on to Emmanuel Sanders, but it makes sense try to move on from Beasley or Emmanuel Sanders, right? We don't want too many pieces of this offense because not all these guys can go out and have a monster week, right? So you got to almost pick one and root for them, right? And um, for me, I think it's Emmanuel Sanders who I'd want. Supersize Simpe, what's going on, my guy? It's good to see you. Sup, homie? Hope all has been well. Been MIA, excuse me. Been busy with the fellas making new geek videos. Oh, that is what's up, man. That's awesome. Awesome. I'm glad to hear it, man. Hope all is well with you too, man. It's absolutely good to see you, man. And yeah, I hope your podcast is going fantastic. Supersize Senpai. Anyway, been going back and forth on starting either Devonte Williams or Antonio Gibson. It's a better matchup for Williams, right? Obviously, these two backs in the same game, right? I still love Antonio Gibson, man. The injuries still concerning, right? And it's a bad matchup versus the Broncos, right? I think Williams has higher upside, but I don't want us to give up on Antonio Gibson either. You know what I'm saying? He's still an RB1 that we went out and drafted early on. So I could go back and forth on that one. But it's a better matchup for Williams. And being that he's getting some PPR work, you might want to take a gamble on Javonte Williams, man. Marky Mark, who's yo mama or RSJ? Once again, for CJ, who's your mama? We want to make sure that he gets in the end zone. I don't see a huge difference between him facing the Jets secondary and Mo Cox facing the Tennessee Titans secondary, and then comparing them to RSJ, right? Because Uzma and our guy Mo Cox were, banking on a touchdown, right? They don't get the touchdown, it's not a good stat line, right? RSJ is at least essentially a lock for those targets, right? Gosh, Mark, it's such a tough decision. Where's your headspace at? Talk to me about that, man. Brad Montgomery, Robert Woods for T. Higgins and Julio. Who wins that? Thanks, Bruno. Absolutely, man. I mean, Woods and Higgins are almost very, very identical in the way that they're utilizing their respective offenses, right? Both these offenses playing great right now. I think for me personally, I still love Robert Woods on the season, guys. I want to stick with Robert Woods because if Julio was offering a little bit more value, I think the depth alone would make that trade worth it. But I still have faith in Robert Woods, man. And I think he's going to be much more consistent on the season. So for me personally, I just hang on to Robert Woods. Supersize Senpai Gibson would be the natural choice, but his last 2 weeks have been horrible. J.D. McKissick has been eating into his ball time. He hasn't had three catches since first week, and he has this nagging shin injury. Gibson still has the highest potential, but Javonta has been fairly steady. Yeah. I think for me, man, I'd lean in Williams. This could be a big game for Williams versus this Washington football team. Maybe not in total rushing yards, but in terms of PPR value, in terms of goal line work, right, and one or two big plays from a rushing standpoint, I like this output for Will. Or I mean, I'm starting Javonte Williams this week. I don't have Antonio Gibson. Don't get me wrong, but I am starting him over guys like, they're not great options like Devontae Booker and Dearness Johnson. But guys like Dalton Schultz, right, are flexing another receiver. So I like Williams this week. I'm starting him with Khalil Herbert and James Robinson. That tells you a lot about my fantasy team in that league. But I do think he's going to have a good game. So that's where I lean there. But man, we would assume that Gibson could get back to that value, right? But I don't know if it's this week versus the Denver Broncos defense, right? Who, don't get me wrong, got shredded last week by the Browns, but that was on a short week, you know. Jerry, Uzma at the New York Jets or Goddard at Detroit? I think Goddard, this is very similar to Mark's question, is a better lock in terms of overall receptions. It's a pretty good matchup. The Lions have been better than we probably think when we see the name, you know, right off the bat. They've been better on the season, right? But I still like Gooder in terms of full PPR. Uzma, I mean, I like Uzma. It's a pretty good matchup. But once again, the Jets have been better than we think looking at the name. Uh, but Uzma, he has to get in the end zone. He's not going to have a good stat line unless he gets in the end zone. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. We talk about this a lot, right? A lot of the tight ends out there that aren't your top 5, 6 guys, right? They're touchdown dependent. So it's not always fair to make the argument that they're touchdown dependent, so don't start them, right? I'd like Uzma this week. I think he's a good stream. I think Goodert might be the safer play. Mark, I'm feeling RSJ. Yeah, I think that's where I'd lean for now until we see Logan Thomas come back. I think that's where I'm at as well. Ronald, I have Dak, so looking for my backup. What do you think? Matt Ryan, Wentz, or Danny Dimes? I love this question, man. I like all three of those guys, don't get me wrong. Matt Ryan's got the tougher matchup against the Panthers, right? So I think he's out for me, quite honestly. I like Danny Dimes versus this Kansas City secondary, man. Love this start. I think he's a lock for at least 18 points. And I view Carson Wentz in the same fashion versus the Tennessee Titans. I think he's a lock for at least 18 points. Now, the question is, who's going to have a little bit of a higher ceiling, right? Wentz in a divisional game or Danny Dimes in a game where the Giants are saying, hey, we got to make a stand, right? Kansas City Chiefs are in turmoil. You know, how can we embarrass them, right? The Chiefs are going to be doing everything they can to win this football game. The Chiefs cannot lose this football game, primetime television, but also I think that the New York Football Giants are going to do everything they can to cause an upset. So Kansas City's secondary has been bad. Tennessee's secondary has been awful as well, but they've been playing a little bit better as of late. At least their front seven has, right? I don't even know what to say about Kansas City, man, right? But we have seen Kansas City play pretty poorly defensively. Let's exclude the offense in this conversation early on in the season, and then towards the end of the season, start to pick up some momentum and piece it together, right? But quite frankly, Tennessee does the same thing too. So going on a tangent here, man. But I like Carson Wentz or Danny Dimes. I didn't have the option to go out and get Danny Dimes in the league. I'm starting Carson Wentz in this week, but I've got Lamar Jackson on bye week, and I'm starting Carson Wentz if that gives you any faith. But I don't mind taking a swing on Danny Dimes at all. Great question, Ronald. Tom Jenkins, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing well tonight. Thoughts on trading Antonio Brown for Gainwell? I need flex for this week. This is interesting, okay? Because obviously, when healthy, Antonio Brown has a ton of value. But if you need to win right now, then this is a fine move. But here's the interesting part, right? Gainwell might not be a lock down the road with Miles Sanders coming back. But you could speculate with Miles Sanders out, right, that this Eagles offense begins to utilize Kenneth Gainwell and make him the primary RB1 because we have just not seen Miles Sanders correctly utilized. When he has been at times, right, he's been fine. But for whatever reason, the Eagles do not want to use him. So if Gainwell becomes the RB1, do they do the same thing to Gainwell? I'm not entirely sure. But is there a side of things that Gainwell's the locked in RB1 moving forward, even with Sanders coming back? Yes. So there's a gamble here, right? But AB has been banged up, and this injury could linger. Unfortunately, my chest hurts saying that because my primary fantasy league right now is essentially dependent on Antonio Brown, unless Randall Cobb can keep up this production, which I don't see happening. And Tim Patrick's my next best guy because I had to drop Henry Ruggs for Carson Wentz, and I did not think anyone was going to go out and pick up Henry Ruggs while he was on bye, and What do you know? Someone picked up Henry Ruggs while he was on bye. So I'm extremely thin at the receiver position, but that's nothing to do with your question. If you need a win right now, I'd be interested, Tom, who's available at the wide receiver, RB, and tight end position in your league, who you could potentially flex. I don't want to lose or see you lose that much value in Antonio Brown, but if you have to do it, I think it's a fair trade. Supersize Senpei Williams PPR value is what swayed me. I think that makes a lot of sense, man. And I'm starting him this week. That means anything to you. All right, real good. Hey, Catch, what's going on, my guy? Always good to see you, real goated. Sorry, I haven't been in the streams lately. Been busy. No worries, my guy. But I'm happy that Aaron Jones got me 20 fantasy. Kind of mad that they overturned that touchdown, though. Yeah. There was one angle, right? The first I was mad too, but there was one angle that they ended up showing a little bit later in the game that essentially, in my humble opinion, showed that it was not a score. But hey, I'm still mad, and I'm mad for you, Real Goated. Absolutely. Digby Dog, what's going on? Pick 2. Metcalf, Waddle, McLaurin, Gainwell, Judy, and Hilton. This is a great question. Don't like the matchup for Waddle this week. He's out for me. Judy, I want to give one more week. Let him get back into the swing of things, although he's got a juicy matchup against Washington football team, right? Hilton, going up against bad secondary, but let's leave him off as well, coming off an injury, right? Metcalf and our guy, Geno Smith, have that chemistry. So I'd roll with Metcalf still. I think he's the best player on this list. And then, man, it's not a good matchup for McLaurin, right? Against the Denver Broncos, against our guy, Pat Surtain. I would still take a risk on McLaurin here, being that he's scary Terry, right? Scary Terry McLaurin. And if you don't feel confident based on the matchup, then I lean Gainwell. But Metcalf, McLaurin, Gainwell. Then if you really want to roll those dice, but Jerry Jeudy in, man. Like I said, I always want to give a player, especially off a long-term injury, just a week. You know, let's see how this unfolds. Let's make sure that injury's not lingering, right? But this matchup is so good for Jerry Jeudy. You might have to consider, right? All right, guys, make sure you're smashing that like button on your way in. If you guys have not done so already, let's try and get as many new viewers to the catch tonight. And if you guys are new here, I do kindly ask that you consider subscribing down below, becoming part of the Catch fam. But you guys are in full force tonight. Love to see it. And I appreciate everyone coming out tonight. Mark says Danny Dimes. Yeah, that matchup is hard to ignore, Mark. LeBron's brain. I'm a simple man. Leonard Skinner. I wake up in the morning and pray to our Lord Dak Prescott. Fair enough. Supersize Senpei. Shout out to Marley Cox, who has been looking steady as a good waiver snack since tight end spot is the hardest to fill. Honestly, as long as he can be better than Johnny Smith, I'll be happy. I know you've been struggling at the time position. I talked about Marley Cox a lot. I mean, this is my must-start tight end segment on the week, going up against that Tennessee Titans defense. But also, man, he's had a touchdown in the last, has had 4 touchdowns in the last 4 weeks. There was one game he did not have a touchdown, but game where he had 2 touchdowns. So nonetheless, that's great. That's great. And Carson Wentz has the trust of Mo Alley Cox. So I like him quite a bit, but we have to keep in mind, right? You know, if he does not find the end zone, his value is completely depleted for the week. Johnny Smith is a very interesting play this week, though. The Chargers are the second worst team in the league against opposing tight ends from a fantasy football perspective. And Johnny Smith coming off one of his better games of the season as well. So I actually kind of like Johnny Smith in full PPR, at least this week, right? But I do think that Molly Cox probably will be a little bit more consistent than Johnny Smith. Forgive Jonah, what's going on? Just traded Murray and Jefferson for Herbert and Adams. Did I win? Yeah, you won. You got Devonte Adams, and he's going to be back soon. Yes, you won. Absolutely. And Herbert's going to be fine on the season. You know, you could argue that Murray might have some higher ceilings, but Murray coming off his worst performance this season, maybe a little bit of a lingering injury. We'll find out. I like Herbert and Adams. I mean, you can argue for Murray and Jefferson. I love Justin Jefferson as well, but I still think that Adams is the best receiver in the NFL, at least from a fantasy perspective, right? And I think he won that trade. Yeah, I love it. Tom Jenkins, I have Miles Sanders as well. Interesting. That makes things very confusing, right? Jerry Cobb for MVP. Cobb for MVP. I feel like after last night's game, I needed to buy a Randall Cobb jersey, quite honestly. LeBron's brain. I wonder what the NFL record for most injuries in a game is. Gosh, what was that infamous Washington and Philadelphia game? 1989 or 1990, the body bag game? Ooh, that might be up there. Drew Charlton, what's going on, man? Should I do DJ Moore for Sutton and Thielen? That's an interesting trade. I would argue, yeah. If you need the depth, then yeah. I mean, I love DJ Moore. You guys know I've been supporting DJ Moore all season long. But listen, man, Thielen has been great this season. He's been one of the most underrated receivers in fantasy, right? Especially if it's full PPR. Love DJ Moore. Don't have enough good things to say about DJ Moore. But in terms of depth, this is a good trade, as I do like Sutton on the season as well. So I definitely consider it, Drew. Justin, do you think I should drop Chuba and pick up Gainwell? I don't know about that. The interesting thing about both these players is their short-term plays, right? I think Chuba's got a very good matchup and a very good opportunity this week against the Atlanta Falcons, but I really like Gainwell as well. But here's the interesting part is CMC might be coming back after this week. What does that do to Chuba's value? I'm not entirely sure. Of course, we want to wait and see, how this unfolds during the week for Christian McCaffrey, but ooh, that's tough. Maybe you can swing Gainwell for a little bit longer than you can Chuba. But I think, I like Chuba this week as well. Let me know where your headspace is at with it, Justin. Supersize Simpeg at Rio goaded. The Aaron Jones touchdown broke my heart, but he still gave me an excellent night. Yeah, he had a great night. Both those backs had a very good night, but I think Aaron Jones is still the RB1 for sure. LeBron's brain, do you need wide receiver depth at Drew? Yeah, that's kind of what I'm wondering as well. Imagine having Jones and Rodgers and seeing both miss a TD at the 1 yard line. Yeah. Oh gosh, have you guys seen the memes of Aaron Rodgers from last night? They're great. John, I got Eckler and have Pollard to play. If he doesn't, should I try to get a wide receiver off waivers or start Pollard? Here's an interesting thing. Well, I mean, are you flexing Pollard at the moment? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of dynamics here, right? Because Eckler might not play, which is going to affect things. And then in terms of Pollard, I think he's a fine play if Dak Prescott plays. Ooh, but now I'm thinking if Dak Prescott doesn't play and they have to lead on the run game, do they alternate a little bit more Pollard in there? Ooh, it's tough. It's tough. The Vikings have been good against the run, but they have not been great. They're more of a middle of the pack team. So I think you can start Pollard. I actually think you can. And if Eckler doesn't play, then yeah, guard again, different flex player for sure. Jew, rough night for me. Oh gosh, you're referring to yourself. Okay, I'm sorry, Jew. Real gutted. I know, don't get me wrong, I'll take 20 fantasy points, though. There you go. The bronze brain. I would really appreciate a 20-point game, 20+ point game from Hawkinson. I would too, just for you guys that own him. James, trade Murray, D-Hop, Montgomery, Julio for Josh Allen, Lamb, and Hunt. Okay, so you automatically replace Kyler Murray and D-Hop's value there. Ooh, and then you're essentially trading Montgomery and Julio for Hunt. I don't mind the trade. If you got more conviction in the Bills and the Cowboys offense than you do in the Cardinals offense, I mean, there's still a lot of mouths to feed in the Bills offense and the Cowboys offense, but from a fantasy perspective, feels like those two receivers have been a little bit more consistent than Deandre Hopkins, who we still love, right? But I consider that trade. Now, Montgomery will probably come back sooner than Kareem Hunt, but down the stretch, Kareem Hunt can certainly benefit you. So I don't mind the trade. I don't think Julio's really too, in terms of valuation, it really matters there. But yeah, I would consider that trade. Jaden Batts, what's going on? Who should I start at my flex? Robert Woods, T. Higgins, Robbie Anderson, or Jarvis Landry? Interesting here. I think you gotta start Jarvis Landry, man. Ooh. Maybe you don't. Maybe you got to start Robbie Anderson. Or excuse me, not Robbie. Robbie Anderson's out of the equation. I'm sorry. Robert Woods, though, for me, It's between Robert Woods and Jarvis Landry. So, I could go back and forth on this one. Pittsburgh secondary has been very bad, so that's why I'm automatically kind of jumping to Jarvis Landry. And full PPR, I really do like him this week. Okay, um, for me, I think it's pretty equal between Landry and Robert Woods. But gosh, the Lions have a great matchup this week, right? Ooh, ooh. I'm sorry, not the Lions, the Rams. Does not mean to say the Lions. Um, ooh. I wonder what is Houston? Houston's ranked pretty high against wide receivers for some odd reason. Hold on. Probably because most teams haven't had to put up that many points. Yeah, Houston's like number 6 against opposing wide receivers, which is ridiculous. Uh Ooh, I could go back and forth. Let us know in the chat. Robert Woods, T. Higgins, or Jarvis Landry for Jaden? And where's your headspace at, Jaden? Let me know as well. James Dow, is Dak's injury going to affect Lamb the next couple of games? That's a good point of that as well. It might. It certainly could. But I still think he's valuable enough to snag in a trade. LeBron's brain. I have a weird theory that Dak being out will lead to CD getting more points. It could. I mean, who else are you going to target if you're a backup quarterback than CD Lamb, right? Mike, what's going on, man? Traded Dalvin Cook and Deontay Johnson for Devonte Adams and Joe Mixon. Did I win? You get the upgrade at the receiver position, a little bit of a downgrade when healthy at the RB position, but love Joe Mixon, and I have far more conviction on the season in Devonte Adams than Deontay Johnson. As much as I love Deontay Johnson, he's extremely consistent. But yeah, I'd say the Adams Mixon side won there, Mike. John, I projected to win by 20 because my opener had Kyler and I started Cobb. That's essentially what happened to me as well, except I'm only projected to win by like 7. But hey, I'll take it, man. Christian, who should I start? Mike Evans or Sutton? I think Lattimore is going to strap up Mike Evans, man. This is going to be one of those quiet games for Mike Evans, is what I'm fearing. I don't think Lattimore is going to see a lot of Godwin. I think he's going to be on Evans like a PB and J sandwich, the peanut butter on a PB and J sandwich. That was awful delivery. But Sutton versus the Washington football team is so good. I mean, full PPR, I'd start Sutton. Marky Bright picked up Uzma. I'm really liking this Bengals team. Hey, I like it. Ride the train, brother. Jew, I have Goddard and Gronk and feel like trading one. But the only thing I might need is a better QB than Rodgers. Should I stick with Rodgers rest of season? I think either way, it just depends what you can get. Let me know who you think you can target, because if you can get a better QB, then sure. But I mean, you're probably gonna have to put like Goddard and or Gronk in a package with Rodgers to really get a true quarterback value, right? So let me know who you think you can target, because it's going to depend on what teams in your league can give up a true value quarterback, right? Adrian, what should I be asking for Goddard and Landry? For pure luxury reasons. Okay. A wide receiver 1. I mean, because Landry is a wide receiver 1 or an RB1, low end RB1, right? And Goddard's still a tight end 1. He's been very productive on the season. So a pretty good value player. Maybe a low end RB2, maybe a high producing wide receiver 2, but a pretty good player, man. Ronald, if Eckler is out, I need to choose between Tuba and Devonte Williams. What do you think? I love both of these guys. Love the matchup for Williams versus the Washington football team. I love Chuba. The more I've thought about it this week, guys, I love Chuba versus the Falcons this week. I think he might find the end zone more than once. So I might be leaning Chuba, but I think Williams has a great game script here as well. Jeffrey, who the duck is? Robert Woods. All I know is Bobby Trees. There you go. T. Higgins, Woods, Landry. Fair enough. Let's see here. Bronson, what's going on? Good to see you. Need or start 2, Keenan Allen, Calvin Ridley, or Amari Cooper. I'm going to say Allen and Cooper. I mean, if Dak doesn't play, then maybe you roll the dice with Ridley, but this is a tough matchup for Ridley versus Carolina. He's got one of the better secondaries in the league, and we might be seeing Stephon Gilmore out there as well. Could Ridley end up burning a veteran corner? Sure. But I got faith in Gilmore, man. So for me, I think I'm leaning Allen and Cooper with a little bit higher ceilings overall in the week. Let me know where your headspace is at, though, Bronson. Jeffrey, pairing Rodgers with Kirk Cousins actually looks kind of nice. Yeah. I mean, dude, Kirk Cousins is still a great fantasy quarterback, man. Gee, I could get Brady, Lamar, or Stafford for Rodgers plus a tight end. Yeah, I think you can. And I think that's fine to do as well. I mean, especially if it's Brady. I mean, Brady's our QB1 on the year right now. And I mean, I actually like Brady and Stafford more. It pains me to say. I mean, I think on a weekly basis, Lamar's got just as high of a ceiling, but a lower floor. And that's coming from a Lamar Jackson owner, right? I mean, he can put up 36 points or 11 points. You just don't know. Dude, Chargers head coach said Eckler is feeling much better, just sore from practice. Yeah, I mean, he's one of these running backs that we just have to keep an eye on because he can be, putting up 30 fantasy points and then out the next week. He could be putting up 30 fantasy points and questionable all week and then go out and have an 18-point game, right? He's just a consistently injured guy, right? Deals a lot of injuries, and we just need to keep an eye on it. But thank you for that update. That's very, very helpful. Bronson, yeah, I'm stuck between Ridley and Cooper for the same reasons. Yeah, those are the two you're going to keep an eye on. And I think that Allen, although it's not a great matchup versus New England, I do think it's a better matchup potentially than what Ridley's going to see. All right. Guys, you guys are absolutely crushing it tonight. Fantastic. Fantastic Q&A. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you guys are new here. Consider subscribing down below. And let's keep rolling, man. Adrian. So after an 0-2 start, 5 trades later, this is my roster. What do you think? Tom Brady, Zeke, Najee, Tyreek, Scary, Pitts, Chase, Chiefs, Dak, Harris, Johnson, Keenan, Knox, Jarvis, Landry, and Goddard. I think that's a beautiful roster that can win you your fantasy championship, quite frankly. Only issue, no one wants to trade with me anymore. I don't blame them, quite frankly, as well. But I think that team is good enough to get you to the championship game at this given point in the season. So I wouldn't stress out too much. I mean, no trades helped develop this roster, but maybe you don't need to develop this roster anymore. And maybe you can play the waiver wire the rest of the season, quite frankly. I mean, great job, though. Fantastic job putting that roster together after an 0-2 start. Stobert, what's going on, man? What's your prediction on Mixon this week? I think he'll have a good game versus this Jets defense, man. I mean, the Jets defense is interestingly enough pretty highly rated on the season, but I don't trust it, man. I don't trust them in a good sense, right? I think we can still start against them. And I think that the Bengals offense looks as good as it's been all season long. So I don't have any problem with this. I like to start. Roll with Joe Mixon. I think that he has a good stat line this week. Let's pull up Joe Mixon real quick. Let's see here. Do you guys ever wish you could go back in time and draft a different fantasy team? Because I do. Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, the Jets defense actually interestingly ranked pretty high on the season, but not, that's right, against receivers and quarterbacks, but against running backs, they're last in the league. You're starting Joe Mixon no matter what. This is the best matchup he's had all season long. The closest matchup he had this season was week 6, versus Detroit. We had 23 points. This might be Joe Mixon's best outing of the season. Start him with full confidence. XXX, what's going on, man? Just saw that Carson could possibly miss the rest of the season. Who would get the most work in the backfield if so? Collins. I do think it's Collins as long as he's healthy, right? Collins has played far better. Now, the interesting thing here is if Collins continues to be banged up and maybe misses a game, well, then they're going to hand the ball to Rashad Penny. But he didn't look too good last time we saw him out there, which was last week, right? But outside of that, man, I mean, they get Dallas involved a little bit as well. Ooh, it's tough, but I definitely think it's Collins. He's been the best back with aside from Carson in this offense when healthy. So I definitely think it's Collins. If he's out there, probably worth a snag. Shelton, standard flex, Robert Woods or Jerry Jeudy. Who I want to lean Robert Woods for the week, but it's such a good matchup for Jerry Jeudy. You guys are going to hate me because Jerry Jeudy could go absolutely off, but I'm just like, I just want to give it a week, man. I just want to see how he bounces back from this injury. Now, there were some reports that he could have played last week in terms of the injury, okay? But the head coach didn't want to put him out there because he hadn't practiced yet. His timeline was there, but he hadn't gotten to practice fully yet. So that's the only bit of information that makes me potentially lean towards Jerry Jeudy. But I like Woods this week. I think he's a safer play, but Jerry Jeudy might have a higher ceiling. Kenneth Gainwell or Devonte Williams. We're getting this question quite a bit tonight. Listen, I love Devonte Williams, right? Once again, a good matchup versus the Washington football team. And I'm personally starting him this week, if that means anything to you. But I also don't have Kenneth Gainwell hanging around. So I think that Gainwell is a great start this week. Okay. The interesting thing here is I think both these backs compete, right? Williams to some degree is going to be competing with Melvin Gordon, and then our guy Devonte Williams will be competing with Melvin Gordon. I'm sorry, and then Kenneth Gainwell will be competing to some degree with Boston Scott. But this is such a good matchup for Kenneth Gainwell against the Detroit Lions. I think you roll Kenneth Gainwell. Christian, who would you start rest of the season? D-Hop, DK, or Thielen? The most consistent guy has been Thielen, right? He's been so underrated this year, but I love DK. I think DK and Thielen are top in D-Hop for me, especially with that hamstring injury, man. Jylord, what's going on? Jeudy or Shepard for flex? If Shepard plays, I think you start Shepard. I love Jerry Jeudy, man. Love him on the season. Love this matchup, but I'm just like, let's just give it a week, okay? But Shepard's been banged up. If Shepard doesn't suit up, then you start Jeudy for sure. Adrian, my only issue is I need to drop my defense at Panthers and want to pick up Cowboys defense. Who should I drop, or should I just stick with Panthers? I think you stick with one or the other, right? I wouldn't sacrifice that incredible depth you have. If there's one player on your roster here, just like, listen, he's incredible. He's going to get picked up as soon as I drop him. He's good value. He's good depth. But I'm just not personally needing to play him every week. You can look at that option too and go out and snag a second defense. But if not, I think you roll with either the Panthers or the Cowboys. I view them in relatively similar fashion, okay? They're not having crazy fantasy outputs, but they're having very consistent fantasy outputs from a defensive side. So I like both of them, but I would be interested to know who are the two players you consider dropping here. Just you don't see yourself needing to start, Bronson, should I trade Michael Thomas and someone else for Tyreek Hill? Yes. Yeah. I don't have any faith in Michael Thomas, guys. So yeah, I'm not going to talk you out of that. Adrian, I can't pick up anyone because I have Goodert in the IR. Yeah, that's going to hurt you, man. Those IR spots will get you if you got an activated player on them. Ronald, let's see, Calvin Ridley or Darrell Williams in one, and Ridley versus Robert Woods in another. Half PPR. Okay. Oh, man. I think I'm leaning Darrell Williams if it's half PPR because he's got a better chance to score. I mean, all Ridley needs is one play, but it's a tough matchup for Ridley this week. I don't see him having a crazy high ceiling. He could still have a decent stat line, 10, 12 points. Don't get me wrong. But I just think we're hunting for the end zone, right? Williams might have a better chance to score, okay? Robert Woods. I think Robert Woods, though, versus Houston. Gainwell or Mitchell? That's tough. I'm rolling with Gainwell. The Detroit Lions are the 29th worst team in the NFL from a fantasy perspective against running backs. Roll with Gainwell. I do like me some Mitchell, though, but the Bears have been pretty good against opposing running backs, so I'll lean Gainwell there. Brian, what's going on, man? Hello. I have no questions to ask, but I'll just chill in the stream. What is up, Brian? Appreciate you coming out for the night, my guy. Christian, should I do Thielen and Kyle Pitts for DK and D-Hop? I have Gronk as backup. Honestly, I think I'd hold on to Thielen and Kyle Pitts. Like, you can flex Kyle Pitts and treat him almost as the same value as wide receiver one at this point in the season. And I think Thielen's pretty equivalent if you look at the stats and the points scored on the year to DK. And I'm a little concerned about that injury to DeAndre Hopkins. So If it was my roster, I'd just stick with Thielen and Kyle Pitts, quite frankly. I know those two names, DK and D Hop, are very flashy, but Thielen's output's been relatively similar. So to DK Metcalf. And I wouldn't do this trade until we know a little bit more about this injury for DeAndre Hopkins. It could end up hurting you in the long run. XXLX, David Johnson, Devonte Williams, Gainwell, sit 1 PPR. For me, it's David Johnson. Okay. I do like his value, a little bit increased with Mark Ingram out of there, right? But Devonte Williams, I got a good feeling about this matchup. Although Washington football team's front seven's been a little bit better overall, their secondary is so bad. I see the Broncos getting down in the end zone quite a few times and Williams having some chances to score. And I see him getting some PPR value as well in this game. And then I think that Gainwell, man, versus the Detroit Lions is a must start. Max, Ernest Johnson, Javonta, Chenault, or Gallup at flex. Ooh, this is tough. I'd lean Chenault Jr., man. Yeah, it's a pretty good matchup this week for the Jaguars. So I'm going to lean with Chenault. He's one of the more underrated wide receiver twos in fantasy right now. I would not drop Johnson, though. Ernest Johnson. Am I ever going to say his name right? Only time will tell. But nonetheless, man, he might end up having similar output to our guy, Kareem Hunt, while Kareem Hunt is injured, right? So don't drop him, right? But I think out of those options, the safest play is Chenault. Brian, I'm so disappointed in Kyler. Many are, but I'm a little happy because I had him against me in my primary league. XXLX, Pollard, Johnson, both D Johnsons, Mike Davis, pick 1 in PPR. Mike Davis is out for me after his worst performance on the season and a tough matchup versus Carolina. Pollard may be a sneaky play. I know I just talked about not liking David Johnson, but being that he's the true RB1 out of this bunch, maybe lane David Johnson there. That's a tough call. Where's your headspace at between those guys? Adrian, I'm thinking D Johnson because once Nick Chubb and Kareem come back, he's obsolete, or Landry just because I believe he might get injured again, or Goodert because if he doesn't do good his first few games. I would say, as much as I just talked about not dropping Ernest Johnson, I think in your circumstance, it does make the most sense to drop him. Yeah. But it's tough. Also, all three are at the bottom of my starting choices. And now the interesting thing for you, Adrian, is you're going to have to drop a player and then clarify for me. Were you trying to keep the Panthers defense and then gain the Cowboys defense and have two defenses? Or were you trying to just drop a player and swap the Panthers for the Cowboys defense? Let me make sure I got that right. Because otherwise, how I'm looking at this is you're going to have to drop Johnson, move Goddard up from IR, and then drop another player to gain a second defense. So I think I may be confusing myself here, but let me know for sure, man. Christian, I just got sent Thielen and Sutton for DK and D Hop. Should I do it because I declined the last one? Ooh, that's tough. I mean, Sutton's a great matchup this week, and Thielen's been extremely consistent. Listen, there's two ways to look at this, Christian. If D Hop's injury lingers, then you're going to win this trade. If it doesn't linger, then I think that this trade might not be worth doing it, you know? It's so tough to call because we just don't know enough. Let me double check and see if there's anything up new on DeAndre Hopkins' injury. Let's turn to the good old Google. Yeah, did you guys see that DeAndre Hopkins apparently was not supposed to go back into that game? And he forced him, so he just ran on the field. And Cliff Kingsbury is apparently very upset on that. All right. Let me see. There's not, of course, that's the only, I mean, I already heard about this, but that's the only thing that comes up, right? There's all these, this is such a cool stat or storyline that everyone has to report about it. Let's see here if there's anything. Yeah, this is going to be one that they're going to make tough to call, man. Oh, it's hard, man. It's hard. I think it's a pretty even trade, but I think DK and D Hop. I have a feeling that I'm slipping for flashy names, but I think maybe hold on to them, man. Litsky, what's going on, man? What's good, John? Hope you're having a good day. Appreciate that, man. Hope you're having a good day and you're ready for the Halloween weekend. Let me know what you're up to, my guy. Monier N, what's going on? Hope you're doing well tonight. Start one. Half PPR. Justin Jackson, Gainwell, McKissick, Damian, Javonte, or Darrell Williams. Okay. If I have to start one, for me, it's Gainwell going up against the Detroit Lions, the 29th ranked team from a fantasy perspective against opposing running backs. I love this matchup. He should be the RB1. We might see some Boston Scott sprinkled in, but I like Gainwell. But I do like Damian Harris this week, and I do like Devonte Williams, and I don't hate Darrell Williams. But for me, I got the most conviction, the highest ceiling in Gainwell currently. But if you don't feel good about it, then I think Damian is my next guy. Max, is Aaron Jones top 5 rest of the season? If he's not, he's right outside it. There are some very good running backs right now, and including Jonathan Taylor and DeAndre Swift, right? Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, and oh my gosh, I had these memorized, the top 5 on the season. It's not Najee Harris. Okay. It's going to bug me. Let's just get it out of the way. Let's get it out of the way. It'll only take me a second here. Okay, we're almost there. Let's get the notes. Eckler. Okay, why could I remember Austin Eckler? I knew it was very obvious. But Jones is right now, before this yesterday's game, he was number 7. So if he's not, he's right outside it, I think, on the season. Gosh, you guys are killing it tonight in full force. Make sure you guys smash that like button, man. If you guys are new here, please consider subscribing down below and becoming part of the Catch fam tonight. You guys are in full force. Absolutely love it, guys. XX Lex, Waddle, Devonta Smith, Pittman, Higgins, Judy, pick 2. I'm leaning Pittman for sure. Good matchup. Ooh, and bad matchup for Waddle. He's out. Smith, 2 inconsistent out for me. Higgins, I think you roll with him versus the Jets, just the way that this Bengals offense is playing right now. Love Judy. Love the matchup. I still stand by my word. Give him 1 week to bounce back and get a full game going. Adrian, drop a player to pick up Cowboys defense and drop Panthers defense because I don't trust them for more than a good matchup. Okay, that's what I thought as I started to get back into it. Then, yes, I think in your circumstance, it makes the most sense to drop D'Ernest Johnson and go ahead and get that Cowboys defense on your squad and continue to ride that train into the sunset. Do people ride trades in the sunsets? I don't know, but you certainly are the way that roster's looking. Jerry, he ran into the field. Yeah, and he got out there and played. Yeah, it was craziness. I was like, oh, cool, he's back. And apparently he was not supposed to be back. Litsky, wow, that would have been crazy if they won. Yeah. But he wasn't even in towards the end of the game, like on that final drive. It was in like the third quarter when he went back out there, if I'm not mistaken. XX Lex, drop Mike Davis or D'Ernest Johnson for Alex Collins. I don't want to lose D'Ernest Johnson. I mean, if you got a roster like Adrian, then it doesn't really matter. But I think he might have some sneaky value in the next couple of weeks. I mean, Mike Davis has been actually fine on the season. I mean, a low floor at about 10 points, but it's worse. It could be worse, right? Coming off his worst game of the season, it's a tough matchup this week. So I think he dropped Mike Davis and just see how it plays out for Johnson. But I think Johnson might offer some higher ceilings in the meantime. Okay. But just keep in mind, if you drop Mike Davis, he's probably gone. But I think that Alex Collins is probably a better pick anyways. Jerry, what did everyone have for dinner? I had some pizza. Yeah, let us know, guys. I had some pasta. It's great. My wife and I had pasta. It was good. Let us know, of course. What did you eat for dinner tonight? The most important question of each night's stream. Christian, I'm 6-1 if that makes a difference in the trade with Thielen. But are you 6-1 because you have Hop and DK? Oh, it's such a hard call because if this injury lingers for D-Hop, you're going to win that trade. If it doesn't, then I think I don't know. I think this week that Thielen and Sutton are going to have great weeks. If you want to win this week, I think it's a great time to do it. I mean, it's a good matchup for DK Metcalf and the Seahawks as well. But gosh, Sutton versus the Washington football team, right? Thielen in a potential shootout as long as Dak plays against the Cowboys. That's going to stump me, Christian. That's going to stump me. Ooh, that's got me nervous. You're making me nervous, Christian. Richard Glass, Domino's for me. Ooh, Domino's sounds good. I was thinking of eating some crappy pizza. Wow, sorry, I didn't mean that in a rude way, but just takeout, delivery pizza. I've been thinking about eating some lately. Usually when I do, I'm in pain for like 7 days, so I usually space it out along the year. But shout out to you guys who can handle Domino's on a regular basis, man. But Domino's, I'm sitting here thinking of Domino's. What was it, last night or the night before we talked about Papa John's? I think it was the night Steven was on this week, so it was either Wednesday or Tuesday, and we talked about their jalapeno cheese sauce. Ooh, shout out Papa John's. Adrian, also really appreciate that you do more than just answer a quick question. Enjoy being able to have a conversation. Great job. Much appreciated. Absolutely, Adrian. That's what we're here for. Absolutely appreciate the kind words. XX Lex, yes, he's the man. You're the man, XX Lex. You're the man. But appreciate the kind words, guys. Appreciate the continued support. And shout out to all of the Catch fam. Christian, I just got sent CMC, Aaron Jones, and Evans for Nick, Chubb, Swift, and Mike Williams. Should I do it? Okay. So you're gaining CMC, Aaron Jones, and Evans. You're losing Nick Chubb, Swift, and Mike Williams. This is tough. This is tough. I think. Oh, this is tough, man. Dude, Swift is like RB3 on the season. Can you believe that? Guy was not on at all in the offseason, preseason. All right. Chubb is coming back sooner than CMC. He's coming back this week. Should be, at least. CMC is coming back next week, so I don't know if there's a huge disparity there. Aaron Jones, like we just talked about, right outside the top 5. Ooh, Swift's been higher up. Then Evans and Williams is a pretty interesting flip there, right? Gosh, I could go back and forth. This one's tough. Let us know in the chat what you guys think for Christian's trade here. CMC, Aaron Jones, and Mike Williams, or Nick Chubb, Swift, and Mike Williams. Did I say that right? CMC, Aaron Jones, Mike Evans, or Nick Chubb, Swift, and Mike Williams. Which side would you rather have? Oh, I could. Oh man, you can argue both sides of this. And let me know where your headspace at, man. I think this is one where you just look at your conviction, because this is tough. This is tough, man. Mike had Big ZD. Oh, shout out Mike with the Big ZD. Yeah, let's go, Pasta Gang. Christian, I had Picada. Why can't I say that word? Oh my gosh. Have you guys noticed my issues with pronouncing anything that's not easy to say? Because it's a real problem. All right, I'm on. It's a traditional dish in many Latin countries and the Philippines. It is made with ground meat, tomatoes, and also ravens, olives, and other ingredients that vary by region. It's often served with rice or as a filling in dishes such as tacos, savory pastries. Wow, that looks delicious. I don't like olives. Do you eat it with olives? I got to put that out there, man. I do not like black olives or green olives. They don't. They're not I just don't like them. There's 2 or 3 foods out there that you just don't like. All right, here's Google Translate, or not Translate, but Google pronunciation. Picadillo. Picadillo. Is that right? Picadillo? I'm going to start working on this, guys. Picadillo. Christian, I have Thielen and Sutton. Okay. Oh, gosh. Oh, you have Thielen and Sutton. Man, wait till after this week, because they got great matchups this week. Okay? Tell them you're waiting until after this week. Headed next. What's up, Catch? I have a question. What's going on, Headed next? Tim Patrick or CJ Uzma or Beasley? Listen, man, I love Tim Patrick versus the Washington football team. I know he's coming off his worst performance of the entire season, but Uzma a little bit too touchdown dependent, although it's a great matchup versus the Jets. I'm leaning Cole Beasley versus the Miami Dolphins. I think he's going to have a great outing. As long as it's full PPR, Headed next. XX Lex, Judy, Pollard, David Johnson, Devonta Smith, Waddle, Mike Davis, 1, 4, flex, and PPR. That's so tough. Waddle, bad matchup, not starting him. Mike Davis, bad matchup, not starting him. Devonta Smith, good matchup, decent matchup. The Lions have been better than we like to think. Gets opposing wide receivers. He might see the end zone this week. He might be due for a game where he actually does something. David Johnson should see higher volume, but he's facing the Rams. It's not a beautiful matchup. Pollard, we don't know if Dak's playing. We don't know if Dak doesn't play. Do the Cowboys lean more on Pollard and Zeke? Judy, I was trying to stand by my word here because I'm telling you guys I want to sit Judy for one more week, but oh, it's a good matchup. Oh, that's so tough, man. For me, it's between Judy, Pollard, and Johnson. Or Smith. Oh my God, where's your head at, XX Lex? You guys are giving me some tough ones tonight. Christian, thank you for everything. You're always very helpful. I always recommend you to my friends. I 1000% appreciate that, Christian. Appreciate the support, my guy. Jerry, I'm going with the CMC side. I think that's where I'm sitting too. Adrian says CMC side. I think that's where I'm at as well. Yeah, it's very tough there. CMC, Aaron Jones, and Evans. Do it. Do it, Christian. Do it. Let's do it. I think I'm sold there too. Would you rather have Aaron Jones or Swift rest of the season? Listen, as good as Swift has been, man, top 5 running back on the season, Jones is right outside there, and I got more faith in this Packers offense, okay? We're rolling with Aaron Jones, man. We're rolling with the Aaron Jones CMC side. I'm sold on it. Mike, Big Mac time, dude. I haven't had a Big Mac in a minute, but I'm sitting here thinking about a Big Mac right now, and I would eat a Big Mac if it was presented to me at this point in time. Cali Loco, start Pirine or Dearness or Collins. Listen, man, if Chris Carson does not play and Collins is fully healthy and gets to start and everything, then we're starting Collins out of those guys for sure. If not, then we go Pirine, then Johnson. Excuse me, then we go Johnson and Pirine in kind of similar situations. But listen, man, it's a great matchup for Pirine and the Bengals. And we could see some garbage time points in this game as well. So I do think it actually is Collins, Pirine, then Dearness Johnson. Christian, no olives. Hell no. Okay, there we go. Richard Glass, olives are vomit. Yeah, they are. They're very bad. I already forgot how to pronounce it. Picadillo? Tacos are the bomb. Gosh, I'm so bad at this, guys. I'm very bad with pronunciations. Jerry, that sounds pretty good. It does sound good. Spicy McChickens are amazing. Hey, man, go to McDonald's. You got to do the McGangbang, right? You got to get a McDouble, a McChicken, take the buns off, smash them together, and you eat at the same time. Food hack that everyone knows about. Jet lagged. What's going on, man? Hope you're having a great night. Thanks for coming out. Not a fancy question, but who's better? QB, Matt Ryan, Matt Stafford, or Philip Rivers? That's fine, man. We love some good old NFL debate here at the Catch as well, especially on Friday and Saturday nights. Ooh, this is tough, right? One Super Bowl appearance for Matt Ryan, none for Matt Stafford, none for Philly Rivers. Of course, Matt Stafford is still actively playing. I think he has the best shot to add one to his resume, right? I mean, Matt Ryan's playing as well, but I don't think he's got a great shot, right? For me, man, I think it's Matt Stafford, but I put some respect on Philip Rivers' names, man. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks growing up. So I'm saying Stafford. Get back to jet lag's question there, though. So that's a fun question. Easy Mac. How you doing, man? I have A.J. Brown, Keenan Allen, and McLaurin going against Chase, Ridley, and Woods. Would you even consider Kadarius Toney over Allen or McLaurin? I think you could potentially consider it because the matchup's amazing versus Kansas City. But it's tough. I mean, McLaurin's got a bad matchup this week, right? Going up against Pat Surtain, the Denver Broncos. Allen's got a bad matchup versus the Pats, so you could definitely consider it. Ooh, but it's just hard to bench those players with their potential ceilings, right? So I do think that in this circumstance, you stick with the veterans, but just don't hate me if Toney goes off versus this awful secondary. Adrian, accept the trade on Saturday. That way it doesn't go until Monday. Yeah, there you go. I like that as well. Tommy, what's going on, man? Should I trade CMC, Mike Evans, and Michael Thomas for Derrick Henry? Depends on your wide receiver depth. If you can survive without Mike Evans, then I say yes. I say yes. Yeah. I mean, I love Christian McCaffrey when he's healthy, man. But at this point in the season, man, just get Derrick Henry. That's where I'm at right now. Ronnie Daniel, what's going on, man? Devonta Smith or Darrell Williams in full PPR. It's a good matchup for Devonta Smith. You could definitely argue for him. But I think I feel a little bit better about Darrell Williams. Potentially finding the end zone at least. Reese Thomas, what's going on? Hope you're doing well tonight. Tannehill, Danny Dimes, or Wentz? I have Henry. It's a good matchup for Tannehill. It's a good matchup for Wentz. I like that game script overall. I still think you roll Danny Dimes versus the Kansas City Chiefs secondary. You could go back and forth on it, though. But, I mean, I'm starting Wentz. I like Wentz this week. But, I mean, I got Lamar Jackson on bye week, you know. But it's tough. I say start Danny Dimes. Yeah, I do. XXLex, I have Judy starting out those options. He was posting stuff on social media that was getting me hype. Hey, sometimes that's the best type of conviction to have. The best is just you have one of those feelings. You see something online or something happens in Madden or one of us says something in the chat and we're like, okay, I'm starting Jerry Judy. Sometimes that's the best. Don't overthink it, right? And sometimes you don't really need a whole lot of, you know, actual facts and statistics to start a player. Sometimes you just start a player because you like to start. So I'm good at that, man. Cali Loco, thanks for the info. Like your DST breakdowns. Appreciate that. And I will let our co-host Steven know that she said that because he does do our defensive breakdown videos. He does a fantastic job. So shout out to Steven. Jerry, a McDouble and a McChicken. Yeah, man. You take the McDouble and then you take the top bun off, right? Okay, you follow me? Take the McChicken, you take the top bun off and the bottom bun off. You put the McChicken on there and you take the top bun from the McChicken that's got the lettuce and mayo and you put it back on the sandwich and you smash it. McGangbang, food hack. Jerry, you got to try it. Okay, got to try it. Wally, what's going on? Emmanuel Sanders, Chuba, Pittman Jr., pick one full PPR. Thanks. Love Pittman Jr. versus Tennessee. Love Chuba versus the Falcons. And I love Emmanuel Sanders versus Miami. Wale, you are killing me here, man. You can start any three of these guys, man. Full PPR. Ooh, man. I mean, Chuba could see that end zone like more than once, man. This is tough. Full PPR, though. So many mouths to feed in that Bills offense. Last time they faced the Dolphins, everyone balled out, though. That's my favorite offense out of the three, of course. Personally, I think I'm leaning Emmanuel Sanders, but God, Pittman could have a good day and Chuba could have a great day. It's so tough. Where's your headspace at? And let me know in the chat, guys, for Wale. Emmanuel Sanders, Chuba Hubbard, Michael Pittman. Who would you guys start? Great question, Wale. Ronnie, hell yeah, man. Thanks. Absolutely, brother. That's what we're here for. Let me know if you got any more questions on the night. Let's see here. Mr. Grapefruit, I offered CMC, McLaurin, Tony for his Mixon and Jefferson 10 team standard. Fair for both sides. He's 6-1. I'm 3-4. I don't hate this, but man, I mean, CMC might be back next week. If you need to win right now and you can get this trade to go through before Sunday, then I think you consider it, right? And I love Joe Mixon on the rest of the season. I love Justin Jefferson on the rest of the season as well. So I don't hate that, man. All right, let's see here. All right. Adrian, I would have to go Phillip Rivers. He may not have the titles, but he's 12th all-time league rating and only one of three players who got 4,000 yards. Only Brady and Breeze have more. Yeah, I love Phillip Rivers, man. Love him. You know, I mean, really, on his career is 100% respectable. Oh, Adrian, who got over 12 4,000 yard seasons. Yeah, when I was reading that, I was like, I'm going to take your word for that, but I don't think that's right. But I'll follow your, you know, if you say it, then I trust you, Adrian. But that makes more sense. 12 4,000 yards. Yeah, that's crazy. 12 seasons with 4,000 yards or more. I mean, yeah, that puts you right up there, right? I do love me some Matt Stafford, though. Let's see here. XXLex trade Zach Ertz or Kittle away. Are those your only tight ends? Mr. Grapefruit, and Adrian both say start Pittman. I like Pittman a lot versus Tennessee as well. Oh, it's tough. Oh, I like all those guys, man. That's tough, Wale. Reese, Jamar Chase, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, or Scary Terry, pick 3. Jamar Chase, locked and loaded. Don't think twice about it. Mike Williams, put him in there. Higher ceiling than Allen. To diversify, put in Scary Terry. But that's tough. You know, it's tough. Ryan Bruv, what's going on? Hope you're doing well tonight. Thoughts on TY this week? I think he does have a good game, man, in full PPR. But I'm not seeing a crazy high ceiling. I'm seeing like a 10 or 11 point ceiling unless he finds a way in the end zone, which he certainly could versus this very, very vulnerable Tennessee Titans defense, right? Ooh, but it's tough. It's tough. Tough. I mean, if you play full PPR and you're needing to flex him, right, then I think that's fine. I think it's fine. But I really, I mean, if he finds the end zone, then regardless of scoring format, he's going to have a good night, right? But I just don't know if I'm banking on him finding the end zone, man. Let me know where your headspace. Do you need to start him, Ryan? Are you just looking into, potentially rostering him? Adrian says grapefruit it's too much. If you need to win right now, then maybe you can pull the trigger. But guys, I mean, CMC is coming. He is coming back, man. Okay, it's right around the corner, guys. Kelly Loco, I'm thinking of streaming Minnesota defense with no Dak or Seattle or Chargers. Chargers defense has actually been pretty bad on the season. I don't know if I'm reading into that one too much. Now, Minnesota, Dak does not play. It's a sneaky start. I actually kind of like that. Seattle versus the Jags. I don't know if I feel crazy about that, man. I mean, Trevor Lawrence been okay. So I think I'd rate these Minnesota, the Chargers, and Seattle in the same bracket. XX Selects, I have Kittle and Ertz. Should I trade Ertz or Kittle away when Kittle comes back or keep Ertz for a flex option? If those are your only 2 tight ends, I think you hang on to them, man. Okay? Because right now, you need the depth, right? And now when Ertz comes or when Kittle comes back, then you can think of moving on. But even then, Kittle's been so banged up this season, you might want to hold on to both and have, both of them available, right? Ryan Bruff, 14-man PPR. It's TY or Van Jefferson, but I already got Darrell and Stafford in lineup. Injury's been tough on me. All right, I see you there, man. I think you can take a gamble on T.Y. Hilton then. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's going to be any worse than starting Van Jefferson, right? So I don't mind that at all. Yeah. I think in that circumstance, then it's okay to start him for sure. Mr. Grapefruit. Okay, so sorry here. I missed one from you. Let's see. 10-team RBs are CMC, Zeke, Monty, Patterson, Gainwell, CH. Okay, I mean, you are loaded at running back. Wide receivers are McLaurin, Michael Thomas, Deontay Johnson, Amari Cooper, Kadarius Toney, and Rashad Bateman. That adds more context. Yeah. I don't mind the trade as much in that sense then. V, what's going on, man? It's good to see you. Man, you guys just crushed it tonight. I didn't stop talking for the past hour and 15 minutes. Fantastic fantasy Q&A, guys. Keep it rolling. We're going to get some Madden rolling, man. I mean, I said that an hour ago, and I didn't even have time to pick up the controller. Make sure you guys smash that like button, man. Appreciate everyone coming out and chilling for the night. Great turnout tonight, man. Make sure if you guys are new here, you do consider subscribing down below and becoming part of the Catch fam tonight. Gosh, appreciate all you guys, 100%. Higgins, Tony, Gainwell, Pollard, Pirine, or Kelly. If Eckler doesn't play, need to flex an RB2. Okay, good question, B. Gainwell for sure. Okay, I mean, if Eckler plays, then you start him, of course. And I think from what we've heard, he's probably going to be okay. But Gainwell is the top guy there versus the Detroit Lions for sure. And then Higgins versus the Jets. Those are my top 2 guys out of those players. But Pirine is sneaky too versus the Jets. Could see some garbage time value for sure. But Gainwell and Higgins for me. Ewick, what's going on? Ewick? Good to see you as always, my guy. Thanks for coming out. I'm in a little of a pickle. Do I start Najee or Mixon this week? Listen, oh God, I don't want you to bench Najee Harris by any means, but he's got the worst matchup between the two. He's got the lesser matchup, right? Mixon is going against the worst defense right now in fantasy football against opposing running backs. You are starting Joe Mixon. The only potential thing that hurts Joe Mixon this week is garbage time points and this game getting out of hand for the Bengals. But nonetheless, you just got to start him. The matchup's too good. It's a much tougher matchup versus the Browns for Najee Harris. It's not an extremely difficult matchup, but it's still a tough matchup, right? Now, Najee Harris could see the benefit of being in the game much longer. So this should be a more competitive game. But once again, the Browns banged up. We'll see. We'll see, right? So I'd start Joe Mixon. But how are you going to bench Najee Harris? Who else are you starting, Ewick? Why do you have this question? This is so difficult. What's the rest of your roster? I mean, I trust you, man. I trust that your RB1 and your, this is RB2 and that you have a good flex as well. So I trust you. But, oh, gosh, man, I don't want you to bench either of these guys. Jaden, I need a RB for my second RB spot. Zach Moss, Alex Collins, David Johnson, Myles Gaskins. I'd roll Zach Moss here versus the Dolphins. Yeah. Now, I also like Alex Collins quite a bit if Chris Carson does not play, which it looks like he might not, right? So I like Alex Collins versus the Jaguars as well. So keep an eye if Chris Carson's out, and as long as Alex Collins gets the fully healthy designation, then I would probably consider Alex Collins over Zach Moss. But I do like Zach Moss as well. David Johnson out for me, a tough matchup versus the Rams. Gaskins, awful matchup, and he's just so incredibly inconsistent, man. V, thanks, my brother. Always love the Q&A. Appreciate that, my guy. Always love having you here, my guy. Easy Mac, PPR, Michael Carter, or Khalil Herbert. Okay. Khalil Herbert it is. Start Herbert, guys. He's been great, man. It's a good matchup versus the Niners. Think back to what Jonathan Taylor did last week to the 49ers. Okay, start Herbert. Kelly Loco, I agree. Play Najee and Mixon. Yes, if you can, of course. Ishan, what's going on? I was offered Dalvin Cook for my Mike Evans and Joe Mixon. What do y'all think? It depends on the rest of your roster. Let me know the rest of your roster, Ishan, but it's definitely worth considering, okay? And you guys are just killing it tonight. I have Dalvin and Swifty as RB1 and 2. I'm debating on putting Najee or Joe at flex. Oh my gosh. What's your record, Ewick? I mean, gosh, that's loaded. I think either way, you're going to be 1,000% fine. Sorry if that's a bad answer. We'll continue breaking it down, though. V, would Gainwell, Pirine, and Tony be a good trade for CD? And thoughts on Schultz versus Susan Uzma sitting on waivers? Schultz is going to be fine, man. He's top 5 tight end. Okay, he's been far more consistent than our guy Uzma, right? Uzma's a fine addition to your roster, but Schultz is a fine starter on a week-to-week basis. Now, Gainwell, Pirine, and Tony for CeeDee Lamb. Listen, here's my only concern. If you want to pull the trigger, you do, but I think you could trade 2 of those guys and still be offering enough value for CeeDee Lamb, okay? Only concern is if we see this injury for Dak Prescott begin to linger, we could argue that CeeDee Lamb's value and production dips a little bit. So that's very tough. Very, very tough. We probably want to wait a week and see what happens with this Cowboys offense if Dak doesn't play and how CeeDee Lamb's volume looks, right? Adrian, I traded away Nick Chubb and Kareem for CMC in one league week before they got hurt because I was worried they would get injured because of the amount of carries. The next 2 weeks, they both got hurt. What do you think? Yeah, great call. Great intuition. I got nothing but respect for that call, Adrian. I would rather have a guy coming from an old injury rather than a new one. That's a good point as well. Easy Mac, I should say. Thanks, man. Let's go CMC next week. Yeah, let's go. XX Lex, should I drop Ramondre Stevenson for Ayuk? I don't quite like either of these players at this given moment, but I do think that Ayuk's got a better chance of breaking out on the season than Stevenson because it really looks like Damian Harris, JJ Taylor, and Brandon Bolden are the leaders in that backfield. We really wanted to be Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, go back and watch. You don't really have to, but if you were to go back and watch like some of our 20-man mock drafts in August and some of our end of season debates with Steven and I, we were pretty high on Ramondre Stevenson being a big sleeper on the year, and it just hasn't happened. Adrian says Najee, no pickle. Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with you. I really don't. V, good point. I didn't even consider Dak. Yeah, that's one thing to think about there, man. I would give it a week just to see what happens. Kelly Loco, start Keenan Allen, McLaurin, Deontay, or Sutton. Pick 3. Wow. Definitely Deontay Johnson. Definitely Sutton versus the Washington football team. And then between Allen and McLaurin, Ooh. Ooh. I think McLaurin's going to see some Patrick Surtain this week, so I'm a little worried about it, man. But it's not a great matchup for Allen either. But I think you roll Allen. Allen, Deontay, Sutton. Call me crazy. Ishan, my other wide receiver depth is Debo, DK, Thielen, and Judy in a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex league. Is that enough to give up Mike Evans and Joe Mixon for Dalvin? Okay. Yes. Yes. Now I'm interested in your running back depth, right? But I would say yes. Now, for me personally, I love having depth, and I love Dalvin Cook for the rest of the season as long as he's healthy. But I love Joe Mixon, and he's got a fascinating, beautiful, fantastic, incredible matchup this week versus the Jets. So I would consider holding off. Okay, Mike Evans a bad matchup this week, but you can start Debo, Thielen, DK, Judy right this week. So I don't know, man. It's not nearly as good of a matchup for Dalvin Cook versus the Cowboys as it is for Joe Mixon versus the Jets. So if you can hold off a week or so, then you might want to consider it. But I mean, like I said, I'm interested in your RB depth outside of Joe Mixon. Obviously, you're gaining Dalvin Cook in the trade, but the receiver depth is good enough. But holding on to Mike Evans and Joe Mixon. Okay, my RBs are CMC, Javonte Williams, and Kenneth Gainwell. What's your record? Because I don't hate that squad, man, with CMC coming back as well. Here's the thing, man. You keep the depth at receiver with Mike Evans. You keep Joe Mixon in a great matchup this week and still a top 10 back, in my opinion, top 12 back at the worst on the rest of the season. And then you get CMC coming back. If you're not in a losing spot, I think you might want to hold off from the trade, quite frankly. V, rate my team. Burrow, Cup, Jefferson, Henry, Gainwell, Schultz, Q, Falcons, and Higgins. Solid B. Love this team. I mean, Burrow hasn't been incredibly consistent. He's been better as of late. Cooper Cup, really, and Cooper Cup and Jefferson. Oh, and Henry. I'm sorry, man. I mean, come on. Come on, man. That's an A. Okay. Just between those 3 players. Okay. Gainwell is going to do enough for you this week against the Lions. Schultz, incredibly consistent. Top 5 tight end on the season. Koo, you guys know we love young guy Koo here at the catch, guys. And then the Falcons defense, not amazing this week. I'm not going to lie, man. Even with Sammy D not playing good football. Are there other defenses out there? Because I don't feel this Falcons defense has been bad this season. So that's the only part that might drop you to B plus B. Okay. And I love T. Higgins. Love that at the flex as well. Reese Thomas, TJ Hawkinson, Dallas, or Schultz. If Dak plays, then Dalton Schultz. If he doesn't, TJ Hawkinson. Don't really mind Dallas Goedert as well, but that's a great question, Reese. Where's your headspace at? I mean, Hawkinson's due for a good game, right? Ishan record is 4-3 in 3rd place. Then I don't think you do the trade, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. I don't think you do the trade because, like I said, you get better depth. You get a great matchup out of Joe Mixon on the week, and you get the overall depth at the receiver position, man. I mean, you get what I'm saying? Let me know where your headspace is at, but that's where I'm leaning right now. Wow, you guys absolutely are killing it tonight. Make sure you have that like button smashed. Make sure if you're new here, you hit that sub button down below. But gosh, catch fam in absolute full force. Well, maybe what's going on, man? Hope you're doing well tonight. Hope you're ready for the Halloween weekend, baby. Spooky season. Time for some Scary Terry, right? Although you guys know I'm not crazy about Scary Terry versus Pat Surtain this week. But nonetheless, I traded Waddle for Ridley a win. I do think that's a win, right? I see a better output and consistency for Ridley. I don't mind Jalen Waddle, but yeah, I think that's a fine trade, man. All right, let's see here. Ewick, who am I starting for wide receiver this week? Debo, AJ Brown, Terry, Mike Williams, CD, DK. Debo. How many can you start? Or do you think I only start 2 RB and 3 wide receivers? Give me 1 second, guys. I apologize. All right. Who? Let me scroll back up. Do I have your full team, Ewick? Yes, Dalvin and Swift. Oh my gosh, dude, your team is so loaded, Ewick. Oh my gosh. No, you need to start 3. You're still starting 3 running backs with those running backs you have, hands down. Okay. In terms of wide receivers, yes, Debo. Even those, yeah, start Debo. He's Debo. And start, I would, oh gosh, if CD, oh my gosh, why is your team so loaded? You got tough calls to make, okay? If Dak Prescott plays, start CD Lamb. If he doesn't, start AJ Brown, okay? Yep, that's where I'm at. Debo, CD/AJ. You could consider DK Metcalf versus Jags. I mean, that's a pretty damn good matchup too. Gosh, your team is loaded, man. Litsky, I took an L on week 3. I traded Jamar for Ridley. Shake my head. It's okay, Litsky. We will get through this. Okay. Catch fam will help you get through this together. All right. An hour and a half in. You guys are just incredible. What incredible community we have here. All right. We're hopping into some Madden, but keep the fantasy Q&A rolling. An hour and a half of just phenomenal fantasy Q&A, man. All right, there we go. Some Inception, and now we got Madden on the screen. Whew. Get a sip. I got raspberry lemonade and water. If you guys are wondering what's in the 2 mugs tonight. Jeez, that just flew by. That hour and a half, man. All right. Let's see. I took a power nap, like a true 20-minute power nap before the stream, guys, and I'm feeling it right now, man. Yeah. All right. Trying to get one last thing set up here. Madden moments. Your team, your way. I don't know what that means. That sounds like a good thing, though. All right. Let's see here. All right, let's see. Litsky, who should I flex? Keenan Allen, AJ Brown, or Mixon? Mixon. Love AJ Brown as well this week, but dude, Mixon is a must start versus the Jets. Okay. Yeah, we get small league, but I was skeptical about CD because if Dak doesn't play, it's like Geno and DK. Sure. Yeah, I like Debo and AJ Brown though, and I like DK as well. I mean, you've got great options, so I would not panic too much there. Let's get the catch fam starting to grow. Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. I mean, you guys are the best community, best subscriber base I could possibly ask for, man. But it is amazing. So, it's taking it day by day, man. All right, I'm trying to do something interesting on Madden for you guys. But maybe we'll hold off because tonight's fantasy Q&A has been so good. And we still want to finish this Face of the Franchise Jets franchise with our amazing quarterback, John Madden. Sheldon, I'm playing Madden right now. QB4 this week, Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert. You know, quite frankly, man, I'm leaning Joe Burrow versus the Jets, okay? I think he can come out and throw an easy 3 touchdowns, 250 yards right off the bat, okay? I love Justin Herbert, man, but it's technically it's tougher matchup, okay? Ooh, we're number 1 in the AFC. Yeah, it's a great question, Shelton, but I think that I'm leaning Joe Burrow there. Ewick, the guy I'm facing this week has Kyler, and I was so happy when he only got 9 points because he is undefeated. But this week is looking like a dub. Let's go. I love it. Absolutely love it. Oh, I'm in week 17. I'm not in the playoffs yet. But I'm playing the Bucks. Okay. the Bucks really play the Jets the last season or the last game of this season? Because this is the real life schedule for this year. Okay, NFL. Let's go, Ewick. Mr. Stimson, what's going on? Hope you're doing fantastic tonight. What do you think of Cincinnati's tight end Uzma? Yeah, I do like Uzma. I just don't want to see you guys start him over a guy like Dalton Schultz, a guy like Mike Gesicki, someone who's had really good volume on the season, who maybe doesn't have the best matchup this week. Because the thing with Uzma is he is a fine flex play, a fine streaming play, whatever you be, but a little boomer bust. Okay, a little boomer bust. Okay, he's got to find the end zone. You know what I'm saying? You take away, you look at the games where he has really blown up. Uh, you take away the touchdowns, and the stat lines are non-apparent, right? They look like the rest of the weeks on the season. So game against the Jags, and then last week as well versus the Ravens, obviously amazing. Then he had that 10-point, depending on scoring format, about a 10-point game sprinkled in there as well. So I do like Uzma. I do like him, but I don't necessarily want to see you guys starting him over someone who has been extremely consistent on the season as well. But if that's your option for the week, right? Maybe you have Dawson Knox, maybe you have Darren Waller, right? Then I think it's okay. I do. But good question, Mr. Simpson. Thanks for. I mean, we've talked a lot about our guy, who's your mama tonight, right? Well, not just tonight, but this whole week. So let me know if you got any other questions on the night, and thanks for coming out and hanging out for a bit. All right, Reese Thompson. 2 weeks ago, I traded Woods and CH for Kamara. Was that too much? No, it was not. It was not at all. I mean, it's. I would say that's a good trade, especially with CH dealing with an injury, right? I mean, I like Robert Woods. I think CH is going to be fine in terms of relatively consistent output, but you got Alvin Kamara, man. You did not give up too much. I think that's actually a bit of a steal. I love that trade. Love that trade. I mean, I would give up like one of my kidneys for Alvin Kamara, so I don't mind that trade at all. All right, guys, let me know what else is going on for the night, man. Keep the fantasy Q&A rolling, man. You guys are just absolutely killing it tonight. We got Madden now. I mean, that first hour and a half, we were just non-stop, which is what I like, man. Love to see you guys coming out, hanging out for Friday night, man. Make sure you guys tune in for tomorrow night's stream. I mean, the Saturday night late stream will be on for quite a while, okay? So make sure you tune in, man. Make sure you guys are smashing that like button as well if you haven't done so already. Truly does helps us get as many new viewers to the catch as possible. And make sure if you're new here, you consider subscribing down below, becoming part of the Catch fam tonight. Make sure you have that notification bell on so you don't miss a single upload or stream. And that way, we are all in cohesion. I don't know where I'm going with this, but that way you never miss upload a stream, right? All right. Stobert. Start Gainwell or Mitchell. Also, should I drop Devonte Parker for Kadarius Toney? Yeah, okay, so I got a lot of thoughts here. Okay, this week you're starting Gainwell. It's a much better matchup versus the Detroit Lions. You're one of the worst teams in the league against opposing running backs. So yes, you're definitely starting him versus starting Mitchell, who looked very, very good last week, but is now facing a Bears defense that's not good, but they are good against the run. Relatively good against the run. It's just a better matchup for Gainwell overall. So yeah, I like Gainwell between the two. And then looking at Parker and Toney. Okay, I like Parker in some sense, especially in deeper leagues. But you look at this stretch for Devonte Parker. Okay, I got to pause the game. And I got to tell you guys this stretch for these wide receivers of the Miami Dolphins, right? Because I was considering going after Devonta Parker in my primary league where my receivers are awful. But listen to this, man. All right, right now we're in week 8. They've got the Buffalo Bills, the second-rated team against opposing wide receivers. Then they've got Houston, number 6 team, Baltimore, the number 8 team, the Jets, the number 3 team, Carolina, number 10, the Giants, number 14, a bye week, and then the Jets, who are the third-ranked team in week 15. Okay, then they got playoffs, fantasy playoffs look okay. They got New Orleans and Tennessee. Now, don't get me wrong. The Dolphins and Devonta Parker aren't going to underperform in all of those games during that stretch, but that is a bad stretch for fantasy football, okay? So for me, I think you could definitely consider dropping him and picking up Tony as well. So, yes, Gainwell, Tony are my picks there. Had to get a sip of water after that. Yeah, man. Dolphins got some tough weeks ahead. Tough weeks ahead, man. All right, let's change up our lineup here. Man, yeah, I was really hoping that Parker was going to be a big match or big pickup for me, but I just don't know. I just don't know, man. Let's see here. Let's try and get a first down in Madden. Oh gosh, can I do it? Okay, we did it. Ewick, I have Saquon, but I have no idea what to do with him. Do I just drop him or should I try and trade him? He is very injury prone. Ooh, don't trade him or don't drop him. You can consider trading him looking at your overall roster, though. But you can consider trading him. But I do think when he comes back, he should be fine. I get that he's injury prone. He's been relatively injured on a consistent basis this season, but I would not drop him. You can definitely get trade value out of Saquon Barkley, especially to a team who's either in a really good position or maybe in a not so good position as well. But yeah, do not just drop him flat out because he still offers pretty good trade value. Let's see here. Mr. Stimson, would you start Steelers defense or Browns defense in my league? We get 2 points per sack and 10 for a shutout. The longer the return for a touchdown, the more points. Wow. That's a great question. Okay, I'm going to roll with wow, I just got the saddest sack in Madden. I'm gonna roll, especially actually Baker's got the start. That's right. Baker got the start earlier, guys. We didn't even talk about that. I appreciate this question because that reminds me of this. Okay. Because if Case Keenum was starting, then I think you do take a gamble and you roll the Steelers defense, although their secondary has not been very good. I think in this circumstance, start the Steelers defense against a banged up Baker Mayfield. Yeah. Yeah. That's where I'm laying with. And if you want further analysis on defenses for the week, my co-host Steven, our co-host Steven does put out his defensive teams to stream / must start defensive video every week. So we do have that dropped as well. You can find that on the channel down below as well. But if you're asking me between those two teams, well, I think they're both decent options. I would personally roll with the Steelers against the banged up Browns defense. Now, I could also see this game, not being the best in terms of either of these defenses, right? But it could turn pretty defensive pretty quickly as well. And I think that if we're looking at the two, that it's a better game script overall for the Steelers defense. Stoper, thanks. Absolutely, man. That's what we're here for. Let me know if you got any other questions on the night. Oh, man, the Bucks picked up a first down. Are you kidding me? Man, I don't know. We might get a loss here. Oh, there we go. There's a sack. Okay. Mr. Simpson, Kadarius Toney practice limited on Friday. Should I risk starting him on Monday night? Yes, just because this matchup is fantastic. Okay. This matchup is too good to ignore. Okay. So that's where, we do want to take a look at things because this secondary has been so bad, for the Kansas City Chiefs that we can definitely consider this start overall. All right, there we go. Picking off Tom Brady. Let's go. All right, guys, let me know what else you guys have on the night, man. Let me know what else is going on. What are you guys doing for the Halloween weekend? What scary movie are you watching? What candy are you eating, man? What's spooking you about your fantasy matchups, man? If you're new here, make sure you hit that sub button down below. Make sure everyone smash that like button. Let's keep it rolling, man. Tonight's stream has been fantastic. It's been nonstop. You guys are just absolutely killing it, man. Mr. Simpson, thank you. Absolutely, man. That's what we are here for, night guy. All right. Yeah, let me know what else we got going on for the night, man. Let's keep it rolling, baby. And yeah, this might only apply to those of you who play Madden, but let me know, man. As I've been doing this awful face of the franchise Jets, for the streams, right? This awful face of the franchise is what I was going to say, but that sounded relatively repetitive. What would you guys like to see out of the Madden gameplay? Would you guys like to see like MUT packs? Would you guys like to see online matchups? Let me know, man. I'd definitely be interested. I do have a feeling if I start playing some online matchups that I'm going to get toasted as I'm more used to franchise play, right? But hey, we could laugh at me and I could get better. Okay. I have played online before and I've gotten absolutely trashed, but I've also played online and had people like quit on me, or they do that thing where they like, so they pause the game. I don't know if this is still a thing because this was like a year or two ago, but they pause the game, right? And then they essentially they like force you to forfeit. They just leave it paused. I don't know if that's still a thing. And that way, you actually end up with the loss as opposed to because you forfeited, right? And oh my gosh, we are just making Tom Brady look like a fool. Anyways, let me know what would be interesting in your guys' senses in terms of how we can make the Madden gameplay more interesting. But really, it's just so you guys don't have to stare at my face at the end of the day, right? It's really a little bit, uh, you know, just to keep things entertaining on the screen. So, anyways, guys, let me know what else is going on. Let me know what's spooking you for Halloween weekend and fantasy, man. But yeah, I feel pretty good about. I mean, I actually think I could come away with another week of where I win in every single one of my fantasy matchups. Now, I wouldn't be saying that if I mean, I got so lucky, man. I had Kyler Murray, the Cardinals defense, and Robert Tonyan up against me last night in my most important matchup. Okay. And yeah, I lucked out there, man. I lucked out there. Stober, does Randall Cobb have good value rest of season? Yeah, and that's the guy I had starting for me last night was Randall Cobb in that same matchup. And uh I don't know. Okay. I want to say yes, but quite frankly, I mean, I think if he had this type of value the entire season, we would probably already know. But like, this is why Aaron Rodgers brought Randall Cobb to the Packers, right? I mean, like, this is what he wanted from Randall Cobb. You know what I'm saying? So uh, I would like to think that maybe this chemistry continues to unveil itself, and maybe uh, we can see more output out of a guy like Randall Cobb, even with Devonte Adams playing. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I certainly hope so because I need a wide receiver worth a day on my roster that I have him, right? But it's hard to say. Okay. Devonte Adams is just so good. It's very hard to say. But like I said, this is why, Randall Cobb is around, right? So it's hard to say. We probably will get a better answer in the coming weeks, but I feel like it's just a little too early to really say. But I'm rooting for Randall Cobb all the freaking way, man. All the way. Otis, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well tonight. Do I start Keenum or Pittman, wide receiver 2 in full PPR? Good question, man. Pittman all the way versus the Tennessee Titans secondary. Beautiful matchup. Beautiful matchup. I love this start. It's a tougher matchup versus the Pats for that of Keenan Allen. So yeah, I'm rolling a Pittman all day long, man. Let's see here. Noah Drontal. Should I trade Henderson for Mixon and Kittle? My current tight end is Dallas Goedert. Yeah. I love Henderson, man. Been one of the most consistent backs in fantasy football in the season, so I love him. But Mixon's been quite good as well. So I don't mind that swap at all. And I mean, this week they both have amazing matchups, right? So I don't mind the swap there at all. And then you get George Kittle. I'm sorry. So I don't mind that. Yeah, I mean, it's like George Kittle hasn't done anything on the season really, but if he does work out, then he's on your roster as your tight end 2, or potentially turns into your tight end 1. So I think that's a fine trade, man. I see you now saying it's full PPR. Yeah, I still think that's fine. Yeah. Ooh, look at Tom Brady and company coming back against us, man. All right, Otis, hope you're doing well too, man. I appreciate that. Let me know what else you got going on. Let me know what's spooking you here. Halloween weekend. What is spooking you guys about your fantasy lineups? Man, I should have really started the night with that. It's a good line. Stober says Pittman. Wentz is balling. Starting Wentz this week. Lamar on bye. Yeah, I am starting Wentz as well with Lamar on bye, which I don't feel incredible about, but I feel pretty good about. Yes, I do like Wentz this week versus Tennessee. Stober, same LL, picked up Wentz because Lamar is on bye. Hey, there we go. There's three of us. So plenty of us rooting for Carson Wentz on the week. And I certainly think that he could have a good week. I mean, Steven had him in the must-start QB segment as well. And yeah, I really like this start. Like I said, do I feel like he's going to have a monster game over 25 points? Probably not. But I do feel like he's got a great shot at getting at least 20 points. Okay. So, yeah, I love it. I think he's going to have a great outing and definitely think he's worth the flex. Or not the flex, sorry. Worth the start with a guy like Lamar Jackson out. All right, let's see if I can't get a first down in Madden. That would be the interesting call of the night. Yeah, I mean, you look at the way that Tennessee secondary is played, and it just makes all the sense. I mean, Carson Wentz at least 2 touchdowns in the last 3 games. So I have confidence in Wentz, even if I didn't necessarily make it seem like I did at first there. I mean, even against this bad secondary Tennessee, I just don't think he's going to go absolutely crazy or anything like that. Oh God, I just threw it. Pick 6. Oh gosh, not a pick 6. Okay. Otis, I hope Antonio Gibson does well this week and doesn't re-aggravate that shin. I hope so too, man. I really do. I don't like seeing a guy like Antonio Gibson who scored 11 touchdowns last season, playing so little and not being able to play on a consistent basis for those of you guys who went out and got him, because you probably went out and got him pretty early, at least in the second round, right? So, yeah. I mean, that's our co-host Steven's second round pick on the season, and he's been incredibly disappointing, right? So, let's get Ronald Jones, good move. Otis, yeah, I got him pretty early. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 11 touchdowns last year. It's like, how could you not, All right. No scary movies for the weekend, guys? Are we over scary movies these days? I actually really don't watch that many anymore, but I like throwing on a classic horror movie during Halloween weekend, Some Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. Just put on a classic in the background while the children get the candy, It's always a good time. Let's try out this wild. I don't even know how to play in this. Ooh, this is kind of cool. Okay, now it's not, because now I can't see anything that's happening. Okay. Otis' new Halloween one is pretty good. Maybe I can throw that on. It's on Peacock? I don't think I have Peacock, but thank you for the recommendation. I've heard mixed things about it, but I'm sure what I have heard is, it's fun to get into the season, right? In terms of little Halloween action, right? It's Michael Myers at the end of the day. So, all right, guys, what are we going on here? Almost 2 hours on the night. Let's go. Let's go. Make sure you guys stick around for tomorrow night, late night, Saturday night. Late streams are always a blast. I look forward to them every single week, man. Always a good time, man. Always a good time. So make sure you guys are in full force tomorrow night as well. You guys killed it tonight, man. Richard Glass, Nightmare Before Christmas is about as scary as I get. Hey, I'm not going to lie. It's like my wife's favorite movie, and it will be on either tomorrow or Saturday night at some point. And I love that movie, man. I'm not going to lie, man. It's a fantastic movie. And I love, she likes to watch it more than once a year, but I love, it's just that perfect atmosphere for Halloween, man. So I'm not going to lie, man. I will be viewing it this weekend. Otis, all right, man. I'll catch you later. I'm heading to bed. All right, peace out, Otis. Thanks for coming out for a bit, man. We appreciate you, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. We will see you next time. Stober, I traded Gibson. That shin was too sketchy. Hey, man. You know what they say about sketchy shins? You gotta get rid of them, man. That's all I got. Yeah, it definitely has been sketchy though, for sure. Yeah, Richard, I'm excited to watch some Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm not gonna lie. It's just a perfect Halloween setting, and we usually have some Hocus Pocus going too, which is another just fun Halloween setting to throw on every year. Oh gosh, you guys see me miss that sack? Oh my god. Yikes. All right. Man, I can't believe like one thing that still blows my mind is like I'm just sitting here playing Madden and talking about Hocus Pocus and you guys are hanging out with me at the same time. Like it's wild, man. It's wild. Building this community has been so much fun, man. Uh for those of you who are in here, let me know. Let's get some conversation going here, okay? Favorite moment of the NFL season so far. If you can't decide on one, it's okay to go with the top NFL moments on the season so far. Richard Glass. I'm a big Burton fan with Nightmare and Beetlejuice being my Halloween go-tos. Yeah, 100% feel you there, man. Love me some Tim Burton, man. We actually just watched last Saturday. We watched end of Hocus Pocus, end of Beetlejuice, just flipping through the channels, and then Clue came on, and like those are like three movies I could watch every single Halloween, man. I love Beetlejuice as well. I absolutely love Beetlejuice. Just such a good movie, man. Just such a good movie. So great shout outs there by Richard Glass, man. If you guys are looking, I mean, those are like the movies you can just put on in the background on Halloween and you just feel like you're in the setting. You know what I'm saying? Richard Glass Clue is one of my favorite movies ever. Yeah. Yeah. I think we brought that up last Saturday as well. And for good reason, man. For good reason. I saw Beetlejuice in the theater for my 13th birthday. Gosh, that's amazing, man. That's amazing. I know my parents probably would have never let me see a movie like that when I was 13, and which is disappointing. But yeah, yeah. I remember my friend in the second grade was having a Halloween party, Zachary Majorcorth, and they were going to play The Nightmare Before Christmas. That's when I first saw the movie, and my parents had to get on like whatever you got on back in those days, uh, and find out like what the movie was about. And they were like almost not going to let me go to this Halloween party in second grade because they thought it might be too scary. But nonetheless, I've seen both those movies several times at this point in my life. But there you go. There's a good John story. So, anyways, but hey, keep the Halloween movie conversations going as well. But my top NFL moment on the season. Oh gosh. Let me know your guys's. And I'm going to sit here and try and think of mine. Hmm. I'm not going to lie. It's got to be tied to fantasy. I mean, the Colts and Niners game, right? Where I had Elijah Mitchell and Debo Samuel versus me in the Colts defense. And I was only up by what, like 22? And that game was not going in my direction at all. We had it on the live stream, and everything that I needed to happen happened, even though I was very close to losing. Uh, that's probably my top moment. It just, oh gosh, I mean, that's the whole reason I got this Colts jersey, right? Bought it on the live stream. So uh, right now, that's probably my top moment. Richard Glass, top NFL moment every time the Chiefs lose. Fair enough. Fair enough, man. This season's been interesting, for sure. For sure. But there's just, I don't know. Stafford almost potentially losing to the Lions, right? I guess not almost losing at all. But that game, I was really hoping would just turn into a competitive game. But I like to see, I mean, gosh, I guess both my picks are from last week. There's been some good moments on the season, though. Gosh, dude, this tight end I have on my Madden team is ridiculous. Yeah, I really want to start developing the Madden streams for you guys. I'm thinking of doing some streams based on Madden alone, but I think while we have fantasy going on, it's not the right time. But definitely once fantasy's over, like we're gonna have some nights where we're just streaming Madden and we're chilling. So I'm looking forward to that as well. I mean, we got to get creative once fantasy's over. We're gonna be going into regular playoffs and regular playoff debate, right? We're gonna have to get creative here, but I got a lot planned, man. This community is crazy fun, man, and I can't wait to continue to grow it, man. All right, let's see if I can't score with Le'Veon Bell. I can't. But I got 3 spinny yards, man. All right, guys, let me know what else is going on, man. Let me know kind of your final thoughts on the night in terms of fantasy Q&A. And we'll probably play. Ooh. We'll see here. They can't catch me. We might play one more game. Richard Glass, the box break I was in earlier, the guy who drew Jacksonville got 4 Lawrence rookies. Wow. Wow. What did you end up with? That's what I'm interested to know. Do you have like a ton of football cards, Richard? I mean, I know your collections are pretty legit, so that's one I'd be interested to know about as well. Man, my biggest mistake, not my biggest mistake in life, but one of my biggest regrets in life is my senior year of high school. I sold all of my football cards when I was younger. Literally, like my mom loved to go antique shopping, and I would always go with her, and I'd always find old football cards. And then there was one guy in the town I grew up in, Manassas, Virginia, who had like his own booth in the back of an antique shop, and he just sold sports cards. And I had, oh my gosh, I mean, I sold my collection for like $500, but my collection was worth so much more than that. And I'm telling you, it's one of my biggest regrets of all time, man. I had cards from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or a lot of early 2000s. I mean, that's when I was primarily collecting, right? But I had very valuable cards. I had almost anyone you could name, man. Seriously, going back to the 60s. I mean, I had a beautiful collection, and I'm just sitting here right now having so much regret, man. It's not even funny. But yeah, I had a Peyton Manning graded mint rookie card that I sold in that same stash that was probably worth $100 by itself. I can't believe I sold my football cards. Stober, how big of a role do you think Mark Ingram will play at the Saints? I think he's going to see a lot of kind of goal line work, right? And I think in games where the Saints are up and at him, that he'll probably get involved as well. But I don't think he's going to have crazy involvement, or at least as much involvement as we saw, the last time that Kamara and Ingram were on the same team. But it's definitely going to be fun to see those two back together for sure. But yeah, I don't think that we're going to see the same type of output as the last time they were on the same team. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Chris Godwin finds a hole. Richard, I drew the Chargers and Vikings, so I got like 2 Keelan Mond trash cards. Oh, yikes. Yeah, that's unfortunate that, 4 Trevor Lawrence rookie cards is probably pretty valuable at some point in time, I'd assume. We'll see. All right. I do have quite a few sports cards and old Magic cards. Yeah. I was never really into Magic the Gathering. My cousin knows a lot about it, and it's definitely a cool game. Though. I don't know enough about it to speak on it, though, but I'm sure your collection is pretty dope, though. Yeah, I wish I could. I mean, that's one thing I'll always consider getting back into somewhere down the road is football cards, but it'd be a dangerous road for me, man. I can tell you that much because collecting is I'm one of those, who just truly cannot stop. I feel like, which maybe you and I have that in common, Richard. And Richard, just for a side note, I kind of realized that most of my collectibles are in boxes still. So kind of, I meant to hit you up about that, but yeah, I got like 3 boxes in this corner over here. Most of my collectibles, but if not, they're on display behind me. And then my comics are all in boxes as well, other than what's on the wall behind me. So yeah, I do need to kind of get. I mean, my setup up in my office has changed so much to just kind of get it perfect for the channel and everything. And everything is in boxes still. So yeah, there's my update for you, man. But when I get everything put together, I will definitely let you know, my guy. All right, let's see here. Let me know, guys, what other fantasy Q&A you have on the night, man. I know it's kind of at this point the week you might feel okay with where you're at, right? You might not have any questions, but any other debate on the season, any other questions, concerns, any other thoughts you have on the season? Let's get into it, man. I just threw an interception, man. That was awful. That was just disgusting. All right. We cannot let Tom Brady throw another touchdown tonight. No, sir. Wow, I actually thought that was going to be a touchdown. I'm not going to lie. Man, we were just wrecking this game, and I had to ruin the stat line with an interception there. Nope. Get out of here, Tom. All right, guys, we'll play one more game, then we'll cap off the stream for the night. So let me know what else you guys got. Let me know what's going on, guys. This point in the night, I mean, that first hour and a half, we were nonstop fantasy Q&A, which is great. But let me know what else is up, guys. Let me know what's going on, man. All right. I think we're headed to the playoffs now. It's the franchise playoffs. They're the best type of playoffs, man. I'm telling you. All right, let's see here. All right. Playoff time it is. New York Jets headed to the playoffs. I mean, are you surprised? I'm not, because we are the Jets, guys. We're facing the Bills. Week 18. Oh my gosh, man, we got another game. Man, I thought we were hitting the playoffs, man. That stinks. I was pumped. All right, I guess we play the final game of the season. All right, let's see here. Litsky. Man, I really thought we were going to the playoffs. I'm looking for an elite wide receiver / RB with Mixon and then maybe another piece. Who do you think I can get? So you're looking to trade Mixon and maybe another player for an elite wide receiver or running back? Clarify that part for me, Litsky. Richard, your top 3 running backs of all time. Ooh, man. That's tough. Sorry, hold on. I got something on my foot. Okay. Hold on, Richard. We'll get into that in just a second. Okay, so you're looking for an elite wide receiver / RB. Okay, so mix in another piece. you can get a pretty good value running back. I mean, maybe a guy like Aaron Jones, Najee Harris, kind of outside of the top 5, right? But kind of lingering right there. Um, who do you think you'd be willing to trade with him? That's my next question, Litsky. Who on your team are you willing to trade with Joe Mixon? Let's see. Richard Glass, top 3 running backs all time. Walter Payton, number 1. Walter Payton's definitely number 1. Barry Sanders, number 2. LaDainian Tomlinson, number 3. Call me crazy. Those are my personal favorite of all time. I mean, I can be biased, though. You know, maybe they're not. Okay, I don't care. Those are my top 3 of all time. Who are your top 3, Richard, all time? I can dig it. Yeah. I mean, maybe throw Jim Brown in there. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I got respect for a guy like there's plenty of others out there, right? Oh no. Yeah, I mean, I just think that Walter Payton's always been my number 1. Love me Barry Sanders, man. And then I got to put LT up there. And like I said, maybe I'm a little biased, but definitely have to throw Jim Brown in there. I mean, I got respect for Emmitt Smith, man. I love Eric Dickerson. Really loved Eric Dickerson growing up. I mean, Adrian Peterson, of course. Playing the Bills, I guess you got to put OJ Simpson in the conversation as well. Oh my gosh, was that a fumble? Come on, man. Oh man, you know who I forgot would be Marshall Faulk, man. Love me some Marshall Faulk too. He's pretty high up there. I always liked Terrell Davis growing up quite a bit as well, but I don't think he'd break the all time, man. I love me some Derrick Henry. We're talking current players. Richard Glass, Barry Sanders, Earl Campbell, and Dickerson for me in that order. I respect that. 100%. Yeah, I had like this might be TMI. I had a scab on my foot that I was picking, and now it's bleeding. So I'm like dealing with that. Sorry, guys. Litsky, either Daryl Williams, Chuba, or Kadarius Toney. So, I mean, you might have to use Chuba while you can, right? So if you're trading Mixon with one of those guys, I mean, Williams or Chuba, you got to do now while you can, right? Before CH or CMC come back. Toney might be the highest value, man. If you offer up Toney and Mixon, then I think you can get a pretty good running back for that combination. Now, it's going to depend on a team that needs a wide receiver, I would say, or maybe just doesn't feel confident in their roster overall. So it's tough, right? I think Najee Harris and Aaron Jones, as well as Nick Chubb, are all good targets, and maybe a James Robinson or a Henderson, but I don't know if that's a huge upgrade over Mixon. I mean, looking at the stats, it's not. So I think you aim for a Jones or a Harris and then a Nick Chubb next up. How do you feel about that analysis there overall, man? All right. Face tinfoil. What's going on, man? Do I do Chubb and Deontay for Kamara? Ooh. That's tough. Yes, I like Kamara enough to do it, but Deontay has been so consistent on the season that it's hard to say. Right? I mean, Deontay has been so consistent at the receiver position, and then Chubb has been, I mean, when he's not injured, he's been fantastic, right? But Kamara, I mean, obviously probably going to be a top 5 back on the year. So it's It's hard, but I would argue that Chubb, when healthy, is probably a top 5 back as well. So phase tinfoil, it depends on the rest of your overall depth, right? Depends on the depth of your roster because Deontay Johnson's been incredibly consistent on this season, man. All right, that was an awful drive by me, man. That was awful. Fumbled, gave up the touchdown. That's disgusting. Litsky, thank you. Okay, good. I'm glad that was helpful. Sorry if that's just a tough one, man. I feel like I was kind of fumbling around there. I didn't mean to be. Let's give it right back to my tight end who fumbled. So we know he's the best player in the league. All right. Face simpler, I got Jamar, Diggs, and Jefferson. Okay. Then, yeah, I think who are your running backs, right? Who are your running backs? Because I think it's probably worth the upgrade overall. I mean, you're starting Jamar, Diggs, and Jefferson already every week, right? You can argue for Deontay Johnson in that mix as well, but, you know, yeah, I think you're fine at receiver to do the trade, right? So, yeah, I actually like that trade, but I'd still be interested to know who your RBs are overall. Najee and Chubb. So you'd have Najee Harris, Alvin Kamara, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson. Then, yeah, take the trade, right? Because at least you know that Najee has been less injury prone than Nick Chubb on the season. So, yeah, take the trade. I mean, if you feel conviction in the trade, as long as you like it, right? Don't let me be the deciding factor. Then I say yes. I mean, that team is absolutely filthy, right? So let me know where your headspace is at, but I definitely like it, man. Definitely do like it. I mean, that team is just loaded, bro. Scary good. I'm going to attempt a fake field goal. I don't know why. Oh, gosh. That was awful. That was even close. Oh, my gosh. All right. Thanks. Absolutely, man. I mean, how do you feel about it overall? As long as you feel good, man. All right, guys, heading into the late hours. This will be the last game of Madden for the night, so make sure you guys get your Q&A in. And let's keep this thing rolling, man. Tonight's stream was an absolute blast. You guys just, I mean, I think let you guys know that you killed it like 20 times tonight, but you really did. I mean, beginning of the stream was just fire, man. I could barely keep up, man. But let me know what else is going on, man. Let me know what's good for the weekend, guys, how everyone's feeling. Make sure you guys are tuned in for tomorrow night. Make sure you got that notification bell on so you don't miss the stream tomorrow night. Man, I mean, the Saturday night late stream is always a good time. I feel like the Friday night is always like the preview. And then like Saturday night, we just go bonkers. Like we're just playing Madden, hanging out, talking fantasy, shooting the shit. And it's just, it's always a good time, man. I never know what's going to come up on Saturday nights. So definitely make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night as well. Should be kicking off either at 9:30. We might push it back to the kickoff at 10 tomorrow, being that it's Halloween weekend. I don't know if we're going to see some potential trick-or-treaters tomorrow. I heard that some might be doing it Saturday night. I'm not sure. I don't know what to believe these days, so we'll see. But either 9:30 or 10. I'll have tomorrow's stream scheduled ahead of time for you guys so you guys know when to look out for it. All right, let's see here. Man, the Bills are, they might give me a Week 18 loss here. How do you guys feel about that? There's a good question. How do you guys feel about the extra game on the season? Do you like it or do you not like it? Or do you care? Any opinions? I don't know that I mean, I just don't know if it's necessary, right? I mean, I get it, right? It's a moneymaker. Like, I get it. I know, I get why they're doing it, right? At the same time, I'm like, I think it's bad for players, and I think a lot of these teams are just not going to be active in the last week. But I guess that's how it always is, right? I mean, I guess it just adds more strain and potential injuries to players, right? Now, I will say I kind of like the new playoff format, right? Especially with it's going through Mondays now, and there's the extra game and everything. I kind of like that. I kind of like that more than the extra regular season game, but I do suppose that you can't have one without the other. So maybe I am a fan of both. Richard Glass, I think it's bad for players, especially how injured everyone seems to be going through now. Yeah, that I agree with, right? Like the short weeks, Thursday night football games, almost on a consistent basis for some of these teams, right? It feels like the extra game, like it's not good for players for sure, right? And it definitely brings to light like how much like depth you have, right? And it's just not feasible for every team, man. And I don't know. I agree with you, Richard. I do. I definitely think it's bad for players. All right, let's try and get a stop here. Ooh, this is scary. Did I get him? Oh, we got Zach him. We got Zach Moss down. Oh, but it doesn't matter. They picked up the first down. Okay, whatever. Yeah, I think I like the new playoff format though, but I don't like the regular season format. But like I said, I guess you can't really have one without the other. Is the unfortunate part. Oh, I think unfortunately though, it's only going to continue to expand, right? I mean, don't you guys think? We'll see what happens though, as well as London games and whatever else. I mean, it's like I'm just not crazy personally about the London games. I have to admit. I mean, I get it. Once again, I think it's just money driven. So yeah, I'm just not crazy about it. To be honest. I mean, I think it's great that the NFL's to some degree is expanding. Like, so there's more fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that football can continue to grow with how much I love it, with how much people like you guys love it, right? Think that aspect is great, but I don't know if London games are good for players as well. You know, Richard Glass, it's all about the money. Yeah, absolutely, it is. I mean, that's everything, though, right? That's everywhere, right? Do they really care about the players? I don't quite think so. So, uh, Jerry, face of the franchise. Yes, yes. John Madden. That is our name. We are the quarterback of the Jets. We were drafted here. Where did we go to college? I already forgot. I think it was LSU. But this is where we're at these days, Jerry. Jerry, I think I'm going to do some Mutt Pack openings. Not tonight, but at some point down the road, man. We're going to get this Madden thing really going on the channel. Hell yeah, I got back to the Funko talk. um, are you looking to sell everything or just keep holding on to everything? I sold like a box of them, and I think I sold my Odell Beckham Funko Pop, which I kind of regret for some reason. I kind of like that one. Oh, I think I lost. I sold my Zeke one too. I liked my Zeke one. I wish I hadn't sold that one, to be honest. Oh my gosh, Dawson Knox. I'm gonna let him score just because I love him. Just kidding. I don't think I'm gonna sell any more of them. I might sell a couple of them. I actually tried to sell another lot of them, and they never sold. They would have at a cheaper price. I mean, I got some bids on eBay, for lower prices and things, but uh, at this point, I'm like, they're really not taking up that much space. I might as well just hold on to them, man. Uh, so I don't think I am. Yeah, one of these nights I really do need to pull them out for you guys, though. We never did that. Maybe Jerry and Richard, if you guys are around tomorrow, maybe we'll do that tomorrow night for the Saturday night late stream. Oh, let's go. Good play, CJ Mosley. Oh, this is an intense play. I'm feeling it. Feeling it. Oh gosh, a second. What are you doing, Josh Allen? Who do you think you are? Oh, good play. Get him out of bounds. Oh, get him. Oh man, good play. Rich, I'm all about seeing other people's collections. Yeah, I'll get them out tomorrow night. Jerry, are you going to be around Saturday night? I feel like Jerry and Richard both have to be present for the Funko Pop reveals. That'd be fun. See what else I can pull out of there, man. I don't know what else is in there. Some should be some Star Wars stuff as well. Jerry, I still don't 100%. I still don't feel 100% about Cox, but I'm trusting your decision. Hey, man, if you've got the conviction in one of those other guys, then I don't want to talk you out of it. But I do think it could work out. I definitely do. Definitely do. Dude, my defense playing okay right now. Yeah, Richard, we'll pull out the collectibles tomorrow, whatever I can. Hey, I'll get a box of comics as well. How late will you be around, Richard? We'll do that segment tomorrow as well, man. Oh gosh, Zach Moss. What kind of run was that? Matthew Smith, can I tell you something? Sure. Why not? All right, let's see here. You know how to keep your fans entertained. I hope so, man. Yeah, it'll be something to look forward to for tomorrow. I don't have anything planned now. Just depends on if anything goes down for Halloween. Okay, sounds good, man. Oh, what kind of throw was that, bro? What's your setup? I've always wondered. It's kind of hard to show. Right in front of me is the laptop. To the right, TV, Xbox on. This is all on a desk. Above it, some books and comics. I mean, well, I guess I should say graphic novels. Then to the right of me, directly to the right of me, is entertainment center and TV. Okay. Then we got bookshelf right behind me. Okay. Two bookshelves, or whatever you want to call these. These used to be what my wife's shoes were on when we first met, but now they're where I put my things. There's a lot more room up here in the office, though. But it's not, it's kind of weird, man. So the way that I mean, this is almost like not like an attic, but the way the upstairs is, like the ceilings are like this, then this, so I don't have like straight up walls, right? They're coming down at an angle. So that does to some degree affect how much space I have almost in terms of like bookshelves and things like that. Oh, can we make this play? Let's go. Let's go. But the setup is like, I'm trying to get it perfect, man. Trying to get it perfect. And I think for the streams right now, it looks fine. But when you come up here, there's like a large gap around, man. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have it? Do you have to go up a ladder? That's a funny image picturing you to go having to go up and down a ladder. No, I mean it's just an upstairs with stairs. And then like on the other side of me, there's a guest bedroom as well. When you walk up the stairs to the left, there's a guest bedroom. When you walk up to the right, it's my office, right? But it's just the way that the roof is. Both the rooms are slanted on the sides. But no, Jerry, no, no, I don't have to like hobble up a ladder or anything. You stream from your laptop? I do. Yeah, that's probably, whenever we have issues, that's probably why. I mean, I need to get a PC, and that's in the works. But got a little baby girl on the way, you know what I'm saying? So, if I can make do for now, then it's just gonna have to do. And so far, it's been fine. But yes, down the road, we'll definitely have a full streaming PC and everything. So it'll definitely be improved. You're a big reader, yeah. I mean, I actually have books all around me. Yeah, I love books, man. Love me some books. Yeah, I think the setup is perfectly fine. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, for the streams, it works, But I always looking to improve quality and everything that I can. So, uh, it'll change over time, man, for sure, as all these things do. So it'll definitely change. But I do think for now it's just fine. I'm still waiting on what Matthew wanted to tell you. We'll find out, hopefully. We'll see. I've recently gotten back into reading. What's the most recent book you've read? I reread. Oh, good. Look at that interception. Let's go, C.J. Mosley. I reread The Fellowship of the Ring on my Kindle. Was the most recent book I've read. But other than that, I recently read more graphic novels. Like I got through most of The Walking Dead, which is so good. I mean, the show's fine and everything. Although it kind of fell off at a point for me, but the graphic novels are just fantastic. And then outside of that, man, and this is another interesting one because FX is coming out with the series, but Y, the letter Y, The Last Man, is another one that I got through most of in terms of a graphic novel, and it's fantastic. Totally worth a read. A fantastic, fantastic story. Then I read a good bit of Saga as well, which is another uh, graphic novel that I recommend. So yeah, I mean a lot of comics as of late, which I know maybe you don't consider reading, but um, those would be a couple that I recommend. And I hope that FX doesn't screw up Why the Last Man. Why man? Question mark. Why semicolon the last man? Yeah, definitely worth a read, bro. Especially if you like graphic novels, man. Um, The Vision, which is about Vision, my favorite Avenger, more famously known from WandaVision. Yes, that's another one. Oh, if I try and pull this down, I might mess up everything. But I was gonna try and pull it down and show you the cover. But that's another like if you like comics in general, dude, I'm telling you that's one of the best comics I've ever read. Graphic novel, I guess is what I should be calling it as. But even if you don't like Vision, like it's so good. It's so good. But in terms of books, yeah, I reread some of the Lord of the Rings recently, but I haven't really read like a true book. I used to read like when I all these most of these books that you see behind me and things, I've had like almost all my life, most of them. Like I like I said, I love to collect things, and I used to collect books, man. Uh, so a lot of these books behind me, I've literally had my whole life. So I love books, man. I love reading, but I will say I got more into downloading books on my Kindle just due to convenience uh, in more recent time. And then yeah, I really got into a heavy stage of reading like graphic novels and things as well. So you read comics growing up a little bit, but I didn't. I actually got far more into comics over the past couple of years, believe it or not. But yeah, I did read some comics, but I used to really like the Flash and like Green Lantern when I was younger, and like Spider-Man comics, of course, and Batman comics. I read a lot of Batman comics when I was younger, and then I've been more into Marvel as of as I grew up. But I'm not a fan of online reading. I still like the feel of a book, if that makes sense. It does make sense, absolutely. And I'll say this much: the reason I ended up buying a Kindle was because I collect the graphic novels, right? And I've got a good amount of them up top here. That's really this top bookshelf of my favorite books of all time, and then a ton of graphic novels and comics and stuff like that, and the like hardback and paperback forms. And the reason I got a Kindle is because I didn't want to damage those, right? Having like the binding and everything come undone or anything. I read one of those. I read the Vision in the graphic novel form just for the colored illustrations. But that's the main reason I ended up getting a Kindle. So I think there's some advantages there, but I definitely understand what you're saying. There's some, especially like an old book, man, you want that old, like almost grimy feeling. The pages are falling out, and I absolutely understand what you're saying, Jerry, and I definitely respect it as well. Yeah, I wish I had huh. At some point, man, I'll have to show you guys the full setup and everything as well on a late night stream. Look at that touchdown by Le'Veon Bell. Oh, oh. Yeah, the Bills did not stand a chance. They don't even look. I'm going to sim it. Oh, they scored. Okay, never mind. I went through a summer where I was reading nothing but Stephen King books. Yeah, I love Stephen King, man. I think at some points in this angle, that's like one of the only books you can see is a Stephen King book. What I have right here, The Gunslinger, book one, Dark Towers. What other Stephen King books do I have right behind me? If It Bleeds, Hearts in Atlantis, Night Shift, The Shining, uh, It. Yeah, I've got several behind me. Yeah, yeah. Two other authors for Richard, who I now see. I did the same. I was in high school, read every Stephen King book. If you guys like Stephen King, Neil Gaiman, Gaiman, and then Clive Barker, two other authors that if you are not already into, which you may very well be, absolutely worth getting into. Man. Absolutely. Uh, some of their stuff a little bit more fantasy oriented, but definitely have some horror elements, and definitely both inspired a lot by Stephen King, and definitely two of my, I would put them actually before Stephen King in my personal opinion. There, two of my favorite authors of all time, and Dean Koontz is another person on par with who you mentioned. Yeah, I know Dean Koontz as well, but I will say I haven't read, or I don't know if I've actually read any of his books. So let me know what titles you recommend. But I am familiar with the name. Uh, Favorite series of all time. I'll pull out one of them as my books are going to fall over. But Abarat, this is the third one. Abarat, Jerry, if you win the Catch Fam Fantasy League, I'm going to send you the Abarat series. Okay. Amazing series. Another one by Clive Barker. Abarat's by Clive Barker. The Thief of Always by Clive Barker. One of the best books I've ever read in my entire life. Neil Gaiman, American Gods, which yes, what Amazon Prime did a series on, and Neverwhere, both worth buying right now and reading. Those would be my 4 recommendations for you, Jared. Let's go, bro. Yo, 193. What's up, man? Always good to see you, my guy. Jerry, I've heard a lot about Dean Koontz. American Gods is so good from Gaiman. Yeah, that I read that book in like the 5th grade. And yeah, I mean, I read most of these books in like 5th grade, but that one's a little intense at times for a 5th grader. But nonetheless, it is a fantastic book. Fantastic book. Jerry, I'll go to a bookstore to get one of his books just for you, Richard Glass. Richard, if you like King, you should really like Koontz. Yeah, I'll have to look him up, man. I'll have to get more into that. I mean, I know the name. There's so many names in that realm, but thank you for the recommendation, Richard. I would definitely. Oh no, a fumble. Oh no. Yeah, yeah. Two of my favorite authors right there, Jerry. If you need a good book, man, as Richard's getting you one as well there. But Clive Barker, Neil Gaiman, Garth Ennis, another favorite of mine. Richard with the fire recommendations, man. Love it. Man, this conversation has really motivated me to get back to reading. There we go. Look at that. Fantasy football Madden live stream, and we're talking literature here at midnight on Friday, man. Make sure you hit that like button, baby. Make sure you guys have hit that sub button down below if you're new here, man. And of course, have that notification bell on, and let's keep growing this amazing community of the Catch family. Jerry, I had stopped for a week or two. There you go. Richard Glass, Preacher from Garth Ennis is legit. I think I know that one, man. I think I know that one. Okay, I haven't read that, but I definitely know this one. Yeah, I just looked it up. Jew Chargers or San Francisco defense this week? I mean, this Chargers defense is not that great. I know that Mac Jones looks enticing and everything, but they just have not been that great. And Mac Jones coming off his best performance of the season. So for me personally, I'm taking a bet against that Chicago Bears offense, and I'm taking a bet against Justin Fields making a mistake or two. And yeah, I'd start the San Francisco Niners defense. I think they're a good kind of quiet pick that you can roll with for the week for sure. And make sure you go check out our co-host here at the Catch, Steven's defensive stream / starts for the week. That video is released Monday night, and it should be available down on the channel below. You know, he should have some good, maybe some thoughts that'll help you make that decision as well. Jerry, I still don't feel 100% about Cox, but I'm going with your decision. Yeah, we could go back and forth on this one, man. We really could. Holy cow. Did you guys just see that hit stick fumble I caused? That was wild. Jerry, you're making me question my decision, which is fine. But I really, Jerry, I don't want to see you lose, man. I really don't. What was that play? Cox or Seals Jones? It's a real toss up. It is. It is. Richard, a good DC storyline worth a read is Kingdom Come. If you haven't read that one, okay. Preacher, Kingdom Come. I got those two in my head right now, and if I forget, I'll just come back and ask you, Richard. But thank you for the suggestions. I will definitely keep those in mind, and I think Jerry will as well. Yes, Jerry, though, it is a true toss-up between those two. Like I said, Seals Jones, higher target volume. Cox, more red zone targets, right? So definitely a toss-up nonetheless. We could go back and forth in terms of argument for either side on that one. Ooh, a sack. Bills take the timeout. I don't think they have any shot to really win this game. They got to score twice. So I keep running my play and just tossing it up to my tight end, Landry. I can already tell you guys in this franchise, we're going to put all our money towards Devonte Adams in the offseason. And we're going to do scary things with him. And then we're going to sign Jerry Jeudy, because why not? Although he won't be a free agent. All right, guys, make sure you get your final fantasy Q&A in for the night. If you have any, that is. Make sure you guys are ready to tune in tomorrow by 10 p.m. for the late night, Saturday night late stream. I just said late night like 7 times, I feel like. But nonetheless, man, appreciate everyone coming out tonight, man. It's been an absolute blast. I do have to work in the morning, so I am probably going to have to call it a night after this game here. But I truly, truly appreciate you guys showing up week in and week out. Guys, we're heading into week 8. We're essentially halfway through the NFL season and almost, oh, wow. What was that throw? We're getting close to fantasy playoffs, guys. Like, it's going to be here before you know it. And this season's going to end before we know it. So I just truly want to say how much I appreciate you guys, and just let you guys know that, going through this NFL season with you guys has been an absolute blast. And I just, Jerry, I'm looking forward to next season. Oh, I am too. Yeah. And this season has been just an absolute bomb with you guys in the best way possible. And I just appreciate this community, man. I truly do. Truly, truly do. Looking forward to next season for the Catch Fam League. Yeah, of course, man. Of course. Oh, we scored that touchdown? Let's go. But yeah, man, hit that like button if you haven't done it already. I'm sure all you guys have. Hit that sub if you got in late, if you're new here. Become part of the Catch Fam. Get that notification bell on, as most of you already have on, I know. But yeah, just appreciate you guys. Just appreciate you guys. Let's kick an onside kick here for the Catch Fam. While we're up by 22 points. This is an awful kick. This is an awful kick. Wow, I thought we were going to get that. But oh well. Let's play some prevent defense, and then we'll call it a night, fellas. We'll call it a night here. Jerry, good night, everyone. Thanks for coming through, Jerry. Always appreciate your support, man. And we will see you tomorrow for sure. Don't forget, Jerry and Richard, Funko Pops and comics tomorrow. It's happening. Okay. Don't forget, Jerry. All right, 8 seconds. Can Josh Allen do anything? We'll find out. Oh, I thought that was going to be an interception. Are you kidding me? Oh, they got no timeouts. It's over. Okay. Adios, gents. Adios, Richard. All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming out tonight, man. Already basically did the outro. So just truly, truly appreciate this community. Can't express my gratitude. Can't express how fun it is to watch the Catch Fam grow day by day. Make sure you guys are tuning in tomorrow night for the Saturday night late stream. Everyone have a good weekend. Everyone be safe. If I don't see you guys, we'll see you when we see you, everyone have a good Halloween, man. If I don't see you, but certainly try and tune in tomorrow night, as Saturday night is always a true blast with you guys. Got nothing else to say, but thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, Zod here on the catch, and peace.